The moment the pen touched paper, the ink on the divorce papers bled through. I didn't even glance at that cold man. Ethan Gu sat behind his massive mahogany desk, all dressed up in a tailored suit, looking sharp but still a jerk. I'm sick of schemes and flirty eyes. That was quick. Ethan tugged at his tie, his voice dripping with undisguised sarcasm. I thought you'd be crying and begging. After all, without me, you're nothing. I set the pen down on the desk. A crisp click. I met his gaze. A cold smirk tugging at my lips. Ethan Gu. Is your ego really that overinflated? I've been sick of this marriage for a long time. And I wasn't just saying that. 3 years of marriage. I went from a bride full of hope to a woman who felt dead inside. All thanks to him and that woman, Olivia Lin. Ethan Gu was the city's hottest business tycoon. I'd married him against my family's wishes, thinking it'd buy me a lifetime of security. I never expected he'd forget his roots the moment he made it big, having a secret affair with his young, pretty secretary, even parading her right in front of me to flaunt it. A few days ago, Olivia Lin came knocking, showing off her barely there baby bump. All sweet and innocent, sister. Yanchen and I are truly in love. You should just let him go. What I'm carrying is the Gu family bloodline. I didn't make a scene back then. I just thought it was pathetic. A man like that? A love like that? Wasn't worth a single calorie of my energy. So, when Ethan Gu showed up with the divorce papers, offering me a tiny apartment in the suburbs as a payoff, I didn't even bat an eyelash. You can keep your suburban dump. I stood up, looking down at him with absolute contempt. I don't give a damn about your material handouts. Just sign it. Stop wasting my time. Ethan Gu froze for a second, obviously blindsided by my reaction. He likely practiced for my breakdown. Maybe even had a speech ready to humiliate me. But I refused to give him the satisfaction. What's your angle? Ethan Gu's face darkened. Yvonne Su, don't push your luck. Other than this apartment, you won't get a single thing out of me. I couldn't be bothered to argue with him. I threw the pre-made agreement down. Sign this. I don't want a single cent of your so-called core assets. Keep your toxic assets, please. Ethan opened it, looking suspicious. His expression darkened with every line he read. He probably thinks I've lost my mind in a fit of rage. His glamorous projects have been dead for ages. He's just been keeping it from everyone, including Olivia Lin. The only assets that are actually worth anything are the solid investments I built from my premarital assets, and the design studio I founded myself. He can't even touch those. Are you insane? Ethan Gu's head snapped up. Yvonne Su, don't you dare regret this. Regret it? I let out a cold laugh. My only regret is marrying you. I turned to leave, but nearing the foyer, I paused and glanced back at him. Oh, one more thing. A word of advice, don't schedule the wedding too late. Don't delay Ms. Lin's little bundle of joy. Ethan Gu's face flushed a furious, ugly shade of red. I walked out without waiting for his outburst. Back at the place we once called home, which was actually just my premarital apartment, I felt not a single shred of attachment. I pulled out a suitcase I'd prepped long ago and started packing. I didn't pack too many clothes, mostly just simple everyday wear, along with my design drafts and my laptop. These were my real source of power. My best friend, Aurora Chin, called. Her voice was heavy with worry. Yvonne, you really signed them? That jerk Ethan didn't give you any trouble, did he? Give me trouble? He's not capable of that. I laughed softly, folding his shirt. I'm not touching a cent of his assets. Saves me the headache down the line. Aurora sighed. You're too clean about this. That bastard and Olivia must be gloating their heads off right now, thinking you were kicked to the curb. Let them have their moment. The real show hasn't even started yet. I placed the last piece of clothing in the case and zipped it shut. I booked a flight to Iceland this afternoon and scope out overseas business for the studio. Iceland? Aurora let out a surprised yelp. You move so fast. But it's good, though. Get away from all that toxic mess. Go enjoy your life. Is there anything you need me to do? Just keep an eye on Ethan Gu and Olivia Lin for me. Let me know if there's any drama. I grabbed my suitcase handle. Gotta go. Need to head to the airport. I'll send you pictures later. After hanging up, I took my suitcase and went downstairs. I hailed a cab and headed straight for the airport. I watched familiar streets pass by the window. There was no reluctance. Instead, I felt completely and utterly free. 3 years of wasted devotion, finally, it's over. And my life? It's only just beginning. I arrived at the airport. Got my pass and cleared security with time to spare. I found a cafe, sat down, and ordered an iced Americano. I pulled out my phone to check the flight details, business class. For 3 years, I dimmed my light just to revolve around Ethan Gu. Now, finally, I can live for myself. And just then, a WeChat message popped up on my phone. It was from Ethan Gu. Yvonne. You'll pay for your impulsiveness. Without me, you won't get far. I read it, blocked him right away, and switched my phone straight to airplane mode. Ethan Gu. Did you really think I couldn't survive without you? How laughable is that? You and Olivia Lynn, go ahead and enjoy your perfect little life. Once you've had your fill of gloating, I'll show you what true, gut-wrenching regret really feels like. The boarding announcement echoed through the terminal. I grabbed my bag and walked toward the gate, utterly at ease. Settling into the spacious business class seat, I watched the plane taxi, then surge into the sky. Breaking through the clouds. Outside, the sky grew impossibly blue. The city shrank to a faint blur of light. I leaned back, closed my eyes, and smiled. Ethan Gu. Olivia Lynn, congratulations on your wedding. Congrats on digging your graves. Aurora awaits me. And my story? It's only just beginning to shine. When the plane touched down at Keflavik Airport in Iceland. It was early morning, local time. The crisp, cold air hit me, carrying the scent of snow, instantly sweeping away every last trace of exhaustion. I pulled my suitcase and walked out of the airport. The driver I'd booked in advance was already waiting at the entrance. He rushed over eagerly to help with my luggage. Miss Sue. Welcome to Iceland. The driver was a blonde, blue-eyed older gentleman. His Chinese was fluent. Thanks for the trouble, I said. Climbing into the off-road vehicle I'd arranged ahead of time. Divorce registry office. The car cruised into Reykjavik. The view shifted from tundra to colorful little houses. Distant snowy peaks shimmered silver in the morning sun. It looked like a painting. I had just arrived at the villa I booked, when Aurora Cheen sent a video call request. The moment the screen connected, I heard her indignant voice. Yvonne. You have to see this. That bastard Ethan Gu. Having the wedding tomorrow, no, with the time difference, it's already started. I took the phone and casually set it on the table. I looked around the living room with its floor-to-ceiling windows, and asked nonchalantly, oh? He really can't wait, can he? Aurora showed me social media photos on her phone. Ethan Gu was in a white suit, and Olivia Lynn was draped in a pristine white wedding gown. They stood at the entrance of the city's most luxurious hotel, their faces full of smug satisfaction. Olivia Lynn's baby bump wasn't showing yet. She was in a fitted wedding dress, deliberately arching her back, posing like a complete victor. Look at Olivia Lynn's attitude. She'd practically tattooed Mrs. Gu on her forehead. Aurora Cheen said through gritted teeth. The hotel is decorated lavishly. Ethan Gu invited half the business world and high society. Just to flaunt to everyone that he's married his new fling. And to completely humiliate you like you're worthless. I took a sip of mineral water from the bottle on the table. My tone was calm. Let him show off. The higher he flies on arrogance, the harder he'll crash. Just as I was speaking, a burst of noise came from Aurora's end. She whispered, I got a friend to sneak into the banquet. I'm live streaming it for you. Listen, Ethan Gu is giving his speech right now. Ethan Gu's familiar, sickening voice crackled through the phone. Thank you all for coming to our wedding. Yuan is the most important person in my life. She is gentle, kind, and considerate. To be able to marry her is the greatest fortune of my life, Ethan Gu. Ugh. Shameless. Aurora Cheen cursed under her breath. When he chased you, it was way cheesier. Now he turns around and acts like you never existed. Even putting Olivia Lynn on a pedestal. I just smiled, watching snow from the window, unfazed. The more he boasts, the harder he'll fall. Did the Gu family elders all go? They did. Old Mr. Gu looked sour, barely cracked a smile the entire time. Old Mrs. Gu, on the other hand, was fussing all over Olivia Lin. He's thrilled over Olivia Lin's grandchild. Aurora Chen's voice was dripping with gossip. Relatives whispered you were so foolish. Giving up the seat as Mrs. Gu. Having your thunder stolen by a secretary. They say you're out for being barren. Let them talk. I don't care about their idle gossip. By the way, can you do me a favor and keep an eye out? Is there a distant uncle with the surname Zhou? He's a relative on my mom's side, used to do business overseas. He should be attending the wedding banquet. Aurora Chen paused for a moment. Uncle Zhou? I remember him coming over for dinner at your place. What's up? It's nothing. He knows some things. He might just spill it inadvertently. I smiled mysteriously. Don't force the chat. Just let it flow. After hanging up the video call, I opened my laptop to handle studio work. Truth is, I didn't come to Iceland just to clear my head. I'd agreed on a deal with a top firm. This trip was to sign the contract. As for Ethan Gu and Olivia Lin's wedding, it's just a small sideshow in my plan. I had long anticipated they couldn't wait to hold the wedding. After all, the baby in Olivia Lin's belly can't wait. And back home, the wedding banquet was in full swing. Ethan Gu, wine glass in hand, weaved through the guests. Accepting praise, his smile glued on. Olivia Lin, in high heels, clung to his arm. From time to time tittering sweetly. Her eyes were full of smugness. Ethan, congratulations on marrying such a beautiful wife. A bald tycoon toasted him with a grin. Much younger than Miss Su, the previous one. Ethan Gu's expression stiffened. Immediately, he forced a smile and said, Mr. Zhang, you flatter me. Yuan is not only young, she truly understands me. Olivia Lin immediately added with a coy voice, yes, Mr. Zhang. Ethan and I are truly in love. The past is all behind us. We just want to live well and wait for our baby. At these words, the surrounding guests all chimed in with agreement. No one dared to mention my name again. After all, Ethan Gu's career is at its peak right now. No one wanted to get on his bad side. The old lady held Olivia's hand, growing satisfied. Yuan. From now on, you are the young mistress of the Gu family. Take good care of Ethan. Give the Gu family a big grandson soon, and I'll reward you. Thank you, Mom. Olivia Lin responded sweetly. But a cunning look flashed. She'd found out everything. Although the Gu family was wealthy, the majority of the assets were still in the hands of old Master Gu. Ethan Gu's company, despite its glamorous front, was actually saddled with a lot of debt. She had to have a baby fast to firmly secure the position of Mrs. Gu. Just then, a middle-aged man in a gray suit walked over with a glass of wine. It was Uncle Zhou, back from abroad. And didn't know the details of my divorce from Ethan Gu. He had simply heard that Ethan Gu had remarried, and came over to join in the excitement. Uncle Zhou patted Ethan Gu on the shoulder. Ethan. Congratulations. But why don't I see Yvonne? Weren't you two doing great? The smile on Ethan Gu's face instantly froze over. Olivia Lin hurriedly tried to smooth things over. Uncle Zhou. Olivia Lin hurriedly tried to smooth things over. Uncle Zhou. Ethan and I are genuinely in love. Sister Yvonne has already accepted this. She accepted it. Uncle Zhou frowned. Just a couple of days ago, a friend of mine overseas told me that Yvonne is going to Iceland to sign a massive deal. They say it's a project worth several $100 million. She's always wanted to expand her overseas business, hasn't she? How could she suddenly just step aside for you? At these words, the room fell into an abrupt silence. The smile on Ethan Gu's face vanished completely. He suddenly looked at Uncle Zhou. His eyes filled with shock and disbelief. What did you say? Yvonne is signing a multi-$100 million deal in Iceland? Olivia Lin also panicked. She quickly tugged at Ethan Gu's arm. Ethan. Don't listen to Uncle Zhou's nonsense. How could Yvonne Su possibly have a project that big? She just runs a tiny studio. Uncle Zhou must have misheard. Uncle Zhou bristled. How could I mishear? My friend is in the design industry. He witnessed Yvonne Su meeting the Icelandic CEO. He also said Yvonne Su has several solid investments. She was already worth millions when she married you. She was really slumming it. Uncle Zhou's voice wasn't exactly quiet. The surrounding guests all heard him and started buzzing. What? Yvonne Su was worth over $100 million? Didn't they say she'd be nothing without Ethan Gu? Could it be that Ethan Gu wasn't good enough for her? Ethan Gu's face grew darker and darker. He glared at Uncle Joe, eyes piercing through him. He always thought I'd be nothing without him. Never imagining I'd already achieved so much. How is this even possible? Olivia Lynn also started panicking. She quickly tried to change the subject. Uncle Joe, your friend must have mistaken her for someone else. Yvonne Sue isn't that capable. Let's just drop it and have a drink, okay? She kept shooting looks at Ethan Gu as she spoke, wanting him to shut down this topic fast. But Ethan Gu completely ignored her. Uncle Joe's words echoed. Yvonne Sue went to Iceland for a deal. Assets over 100 million. Solid investments. These words pierced his heart like 1,000 needles. He recalled how swiftly I agreed to the divorce. The disdain when I gave up his assets. Was it possible? Could he have been so blind this whole time? What he thought were my toxic assets were actually his own debts. And I had long ago moved the real assets. A nameless panic surged through his heart. Ethan Gu's hand began to tremble slightly as he held his wine glass. His smugness turned to shock and disbelief. He looked around the room. The guests' whispering seemed to morph into mockery, piercing his eardrums painfully. This grand wedding feast he'd meticulously planned to show off had unconsciously turned into a joke. And he, the self-proclaimed victor, now stood there like a complete clown for all to see. Uncle Joe's words were like a bombshell, exploding through the lively banquet hall. The color drained from Ethan Gu's face in an instant. His contemptuous eyes now widened in shock. His pupils, full of disbelief, stared at Uncle Joe, as if he wanted to tear him apart on the spot. What the hell are you talking about? Ethan Gu's voice cracked in disbelief. It was sharp and grating to the ears. His wine glass smashed onto the table with a crash. Red wine splattered everywhere, staining Yvonne Sue. She's just a woman who only knows how to revolve around the household. That tiny studio of hers barely makes ends meet. With her assets, how could she handle billion-dollar deals? Did she pull the wool over your eyes? Uncle Joe was taken aback by this sudden outburst of rage. He frowned and took a step back. His tone hardened as well. Ethan Gu. Watch your mouth. My friend's a decade-long designer. You think he'd dare? He showed me a pic of Yvonne with their head. She was dressed like an absolute boss. She had an international team following her around. She didn't seem anything like the woman you described. Photo? What photo? Ethan Gu reacted like a cat whose tail had just been stepped on. He lunged forward, grabbing Uncle Joe's arm tightly. His grip was so fierce it felt like he might crush the man's bones. Show me the photo. I need to see it. You must have been mistaken. That was not Yvonne. Uncle Joe grimaced in pain. He shook him off. Are you crazy? It's not on my phone. My friend just sent it to me, and I glanced at it. Ethan Gu, what the hell kind of attitude is this? Even if Yvonne has real talent, that's her own damn ability. Why are you getting so worked up over it? The surrounding guests were already buzzing with excitement, all crowding around to catch the drama. The whispers grew louder and louder. Oh my god. Ethan's reaction is way too over the top. Is Uncle Joe serious? Is Yvonne really that loaded? We all heard Yvonne was kicked to the curb with nothing. But now, Ethan seems unworthy of her. Look at Ethan, looking all rattled and red-faced. Could it be that he was the one played by Yvonne all along? Those gossips pricked Ethan Gu's ears like needles. He was already panicked and confused by Uncle Joe's words. Now, being openly discussed like this by everyone, he felt his face burn with sheer humiliation, as if he'd just been slapped repeatedly in public. He had always thought of himself as the victor of this marriage, thinking I'd be left with nothing, totally broken. That's why he couldn't wait to have this wedding. Desperate to prove to everyone that he was better off without me. That he'd landed a younger, prettier woman like Olivia Lynn. But now, Uncle Joe's words had completely shattered that fantasy. If I really had assets over 100 million, what if I really do have multi-million-dollar projects in Iceland? Everything he bragged about just now became a cosmic joke. He didn't get rid of his burden. He may have just let a real billionaire walk out. That thought hit him hard. Ethan Gu's mind just went, BZZZT. It felt like a swarm of bees had invaded his skull. Composure? Forget it. He saw the mocking looks from the guests. The panic splashed all over Olivia Lynn's face. That table of gourmet dishes now looked purely irritating. Ah, He let out a bestial roar. His hand shot out and flipped the round table in front of him. With all his strength, he flipped it. Crash! The table hit the floor. Dishes, glasses, and soup splattered everywhere, splashing guests left and right. Screams erupted, and the scene instantly fell into chaos. Ethan Gu, have you gone completely insane? Olivia Lynn was so scared her face went chalk white. She screamed and jumped back, terrified of the shattered porcelain. Her pristine wedding dress was now covered in greasy stains. She looked pathetic. Her smugness was utterly destroyed. Old Mrs. Gu was also scared out of her wits. Clutching her chest, she pointed at Ethan, too angry to speak. You bastard. What the hell are you doing? This is your lucky day. Old Mr. Gu's face turned steel blue. He slammed the table with a loud bang, roaring, enough. Ethan Gu, you get a grip on yourself right now. At this moment, Ethan couldn't hear a single thing anyone said. He was a runaway bull, his eyes bloodshot and his breath ragged. He paced the chaotic venue, muttering hysterically, impossible. Yvonne Su can't have that much money. She's lying to me. She must be lying to me. He remembered how I didn't even hesitate during the divorce. How I walked away from the core assets with pure disdain. And those parting words I threw at him, don't waste my time. All these details came together now. Forming a terrifying reality, he never discarded me. I had planned everything all along. And I walked away, dropping him like the liability he was. That toxic asset he mentioned was just his own crushing debt. And I had already moved the valuable assets away. Probably setting up those Icelandic projects long before the divorce. Not only did he fail to take advantage of me, but he's likely buried in debt. And he's become the laughingstock of everyone here. Yvonne Su, you bitch. Ethan Gu roared, trembling with rage. He grabbed a nearby chair and smashed it onto the ground. Her leg broke, you dare scam me? Uncle Joe was completely terrified by the chaos unfolding before him. He muttered, I just threw that out there. Why is he reacting so violently? Don't tell me what I said was true. Could Yvonne Su really? Gossip buzzed. They stared at Ethan Gu with pure contempt. Throwing a tantrum in public on his big day? If word gets out, he'll be the laughingstock. If you ask me, he just can't handle that Yvonne Su is way out of his league. He's humiliated and lashing out. People used to think Ethan Gu was a young prodigy. Now it turns out he's mediocre at best. What a fragile ego. Olivia Lynn is the unlucky one in all this. Getting hit with this drama right after the wedding? The road ahead is not going to be easy for her. Listening to all the whispers around her, Olivia Lynn was so furious she was on the verge of tears. She thought she'd climb to the top as Mrs. Gu. Who knew the wedding would turn into a disaster? Ethan Gu going berserk in public hasn't just utterly disgraced the Gu family name. It's made her the biggest joke of all. Swallowing tears, she reached for his arm, desperately trying to get him to calm down. Yanchen, stop this. Let's talk at home, please. So many guests. Don't cause a scene here. Go home? Ethan Gu violently shook off her hand with such force that Olivia Lynn stumbled backwards, nearly falling to the ground. That bitch, Yvonne Su, played me. I'm going to find her. I'm going to make her spit it all out. Ignoring everyone's protests, Ethan Gu charged towards the hotel entrance like a lunatic. His suit torn, hair a wreck. Face twisted with rage, no groom now. Yanchen, come back here. Olivia Lynn screamed and cried as she chased after him. But Ethan Gu was sprinting too fast. Vanished instantly. Total carnage. Smashed plates and cups were scattered all over the floor. Grease and soup stains covered the ground and the furniture. The guests were either clumsily wiping stains off their outfits, or gossiping in disgust, while plenty of others simply turned and walked out. A grand banquet destroyed by Ethan's meltdown. Old Master Gu was trembling with pure, unadulterated rage. He roared, go. Drag him back now. That fool will be my death. Butler rushed off. He quickly rounded up a few bodyguards and rushed out in pursuit. The matriarch held her hand, full of regret. I'm so sorry, Yvonne. Ethan's just lost his way. Please don't take it personally. Olivia forced a tight, brittle smile. Inside, she seethed, hating Ethan Gu and me like acid. She never imagined I could be this deep. That I had it in me. Not only wasn't I destroyed, I thrived even more glamorously. And I made Ethan Gu a total laughingstock at his own wedding. No. She couldn't let me get away so smugly. She would find a way to destroy me, to ruin my reputation completely. But I was in my Iceland villa, soaking in a hot spring. And enjoying the snow falling outside the window. Aurora Chen's video call popped up again. Her voice burst with excitement. Yvonne, you won't believe this. Ethan Gu has completely lost it. Aurora's voice shook. After Uncle Biao told him about you. He flipped the entire table. Smashed chairs. Ran out of that hotel like a total madman. He trashed the whole reception. Most of the guests are already gone. The Gu family is completely humiliated. I picked up the wine glass beside me and took a delicate sip. A cold, amused smile touched my lips. Oh? Lost control that fast? I thought he'd hold it together longer. He totally fell apart. You should have seen him, Aurora laughed, eyes bloodshot, screaming like a rabid dog, shouting your name nonstop, saying you played him. The whole business world knows what happened now. Ethan Gu is famous, but for all the wrong reasons. This is just the beginning. I watched the snow falling outside. A flicker of cold steel in my eyes. The real show's still to come. Ethan Gu ran out like a complete psychopath, leaving chaos and horrified guests in his wake. Olivia Lynn stood frozen in her place. Greasy stains defiled her dress. Her face went white as a sheet. Tears welled up in her eyes, but she forced them back with sheer will. She knew if she broke down now, she'd just be a punchline. Her place as Mrs. Gu depended on keeping up appearances now. Taking a deep breath, Olivia wiped the corners of her eyes. She plastered on a smile that looked more painful than tears. She bowed to the guests around her. Her voice dripping with fake vulnerability. Dear uncles, aunts, brothers, sisters. I'm so sorry for this embarrassing scene. Ethan, he's just been under so much stress from the company lately. And with the drinks today, he wasn't himself. Please, don't hold it against him. Then, she turned to the Gu elders. Her voice choking up. Dad, Mom, I'm so sorry. It's all my fault. I couldn't calm Ethan down. I've brought shame to the Gu family. Failing to stop Yanchen has brought shame to the Gu family. Grandma Gu doted on her for the baby. That pitiful act of hers instantly calmed the old woman's anger. She took her hand and cooed, silly girl, this isn't your fault. This is all because of that worthless brat, Ethan. But Grandpa Gu's face remained stone cold. He swept a frigid glare over the chaotic mess of the banquet. Then he looked at Olivia Lynn. His tone was severe, full of oppressive authority. Don't make a scene at the wedding. Does he even care about the Gu family's reputation anymore? The guests nearby weren't that easy to fool either. Ethan Gu's reaction had been way too violent. It clearly wasn't just stress or too much alcohol. A Cheongsam lady raised an eyebrow. That's an awfully convenient excuse, don't you think? He obviously lost it the second he heard Mr. Zhou's story. Does Yvonne have a huge project? At that, other guests chimed in. Yeah. If there's no truth to it, why would CEO Gu react so badly? Mr. Zhou isn't the type to make up gossip. His contact in the design world is quite prominent. Surely he wouldn't just fabricate this, right? Miss Lin, you're so close to CEO Gu. Have you really heard nothing about Yvonne Su's situation? This barrage of questions instantly made Olivia Lynn break out in a cold sweat. How the hell would she know Yvonne Su's true situation? She always believed Yvonne was just a housewife living off Ethan Gu. And that her little studio was just a joke. That's why she had the nerve to barge in and demand she step aside. But now, with what Uncle Zhou hinted at, and Ethan Gu's terrifying reaction, was Yvonne hiding her power? No, she absolutely couldn't let anyone believe this. If word gets out that Yvonne is richer than Ethan Gu, her image as the winner will be completely destroyed. She'd never be able to hold her head up in the social circle again. Olivia Lynn steadied herself. Forcing a calm facade, she said, Everyone, I have heard a bit about Yvonne's studio. It's just a small business. Uncle Zhou's friend must have mistaken her for someone else. Or perhaps Yvonne exaggerated the truth just to save face. She accused Uncle Zhou. You're an elder. Don't believe outsiders and cause chaos. If this gets out, it won't just ruin Ethan Gu's reputation. It would humiliate Yvonne Sue as well. Uncle Joe was still reeling from the earlier confrontation. Hearing Olivia Lynn's words, his temper flared instantly. Miss Lynn? You're way out of line. When did I ever spout nonsense? My friend saw it with his own eyes and video called me about it. There's no way he could have mistaken her for someone else. I do know a thing or two about Yvonne Sue's capabilities. She won a gold medal in the design world back in the day. She only kept a low profile after she got married. A guest immediately chimed in, I remember now. That super popular international design competition a few years ago, the gold medalist was indeed named Yvonne Sue. The report said she founded her own studio at a very young age. I can't believe she's actually Mr. Gu's ex-wife. So this means Yvonne Sue is truly talented on her own, and was never living off Mr. Gu's money. Then why was Mr. Gu so agitated just now? Maybe Yvonne Sue didn't take any assets at all? Simply because she's already loaded? The consensus was shifting dangerously against Olivia Lynn, and her face fell drastically. She began to stammer nervously, and no, that's not it. That gold medalist wasn't Yvonne Sue. It's just someone with the same name. Is it really Yvonne Sue's small studio, or just the same name? We can find out with a quick search. A young lady nearby pulled out her phone, smirking. I'll just look up the winners list from that year right now. Olivia Lynn felt her heart clench in panic. She rushed forward to stop her. No, don't search. Why bother looking into such a trivial matter? Everyone, let's just eat, the food is getting cold. But the more she tried to stop it, the more curious everyone became. The young lady had already opened the search page and quickly found the award information from that year, along with a photo of Yvonne Sue at the ceremony. Found it. It really is Yvonne Sue. The young lady held up her phone for everyone to see. Look. The person in the photo is definitely Mr. Gu's ex-wife. Back then, she even mentioned plans to open a studio overseas. And clearly, she has made that happen. The crowd gathered around the phone, buzzing louder. Olivia Lynn's gaze also became inscrutable. So Yvonne? Mr. Gu really lucked out, and he didn't even know how to cherish it. Miss Lynn was just saying it was a small business a second ago. She was clearly lying through her teeth. If you ask me. Mr. Gu knew he wasn't worthy of her and feared being mocked. That's why he rushed to remarry to validate his ego. He never thought Mr. Zhou would expose him so harshly. Those words hit Olivia Lynn like a knife to the heart. Furious and humiliated, she broke down in tears. She cried out it wasn't true, they misunderstood. Ethan isn't that kind of person. Sister Yvonne, she did this on purpose. She knew today was our wedding. She deliberately got cousin Zhou to come here and say these things. She just wanted to ruin our wedding. She's so vicious. She's trying to throw dirt on my name, but no one even believes her. Cousin Zhou immediately fired back at Miss Lynn. You can't slander Yvonne like that. Everything I said today was completely unintentional. Yvonne had no idea I was even coming to the wedding. How could she have deliberately told me to say all this? You're being completely unreasonable. Exactly. If Yvonne wanted to ruin the wedding, she wouldn't have agreed to the divorce so readily back then. Miss Lynn feels guilty. She fears Yvonne is better. Afraid Mr. Gu will regret his choice. Maybe he did regret it, and that's why he just went crazy on the spot. Olivia Lynn was left speechless by the crowd's accusations. She just stood there crying, looking more pathetic. Grandma Gu wanted to speak up for her, but facing questioning eyes, she couldn't begin. Grandpa Gu's expression grew darker by the moment. Finally, he couldn't hold back any longer. Enough. Everyone, quiet. His voice commanded authority, and the room instantly fell silent. The old man glanced at Olivia, sobbing like a crushed flower. Then he scanned the surrounding guests. He said sternly, the Gu family was a poor host today. My apologies for the spectacle. If any of you have lost your appetite, please feel free to head home. I'll host another banquet to apologize to you all. The guests, who had long lost any desire to eat, upon hearing Grandpa Gu's words, got up to leave one after another. As they left, they couldn't help but glance back at Olivia Lynn. Their eyes were filled with mockery and pity. Very soon, only the Gu family and a few close relatives remained in the hall. Olivia Lynn was sobbing uncontrollably, struggling to catch her breath. Grandma Gu patted her back to comfort her. Grandpa sat on the sofa, his face so dark it looked ready to storm. Just then, the butler rushed in. He shook his head at Grandpa Goo. "Sir, I couldn't catch him." The young master drove off. "His phone is off, too." Grandpa Goo let out a heavy sigh. He looked at Olivia Lynn. His tone was tinged with interrogation. Yuan, tell me the truth. Did you know Yvonne's true situation or not? What are you and Yanchen really getting married for? Olivia Lynn's heart seized with panic. Quickly wipe away those tears and tell me, Dad. I really don't know anything about Yvonne Sue's situation. Ethan and I are truly in love. How could I have any other reason? We're in love. Mr. Goo let out a cold laugh. If you're truly in love, would Ethan pull a stunt like that at his own wedding? Would he lose control just because of some news about Yvonne? It's clear you two aren't telling the truth. Olivia Lynn was trembling with fear, too scared to utter another word. She knew Mr. Goo was already suspicious of her. If she can't find Ethan Goo, and can't prove my situation is fake, her position as Mrs. Goo is definitely hanging by a thread. Just then, Olivia Lynn's phone rang. It was Ethan Goo calling. She grabbed it like a lifeline and answered immediately. Her voice laced with tears. Ethan, where are you? Please come back. Mom and Dad are so worried about you. On the other end, Ethan Goo's ragged breathing was audible, mixed with the noise of traffic. His voice carried a hint of madness. Olivia, I need you to dig up everything on Yvonne Sue in Iceland right now. Find out if that project is for real. Find out how much she's actually worth. The faster, the better. How am I supposed to do that? Olivia Lynn's voice was panicked. Can't you hire a private investigator? Ethan Goo roared. I don't care what it costs, just get me the facts. I need to know if she's really that rich. And if she's been playing me all along. Fine, I understand. I'll look into it right now. Olivia Lynn hastily agreed. After hanging up, seeing the worried looks on Mr. and Mrs. Goo's faces, Olivia Lynn forced a strained smile. Mom, Dad, Ethan is fine. He just needs some time alone. He asked me to look into Yvonne Sue's situation. Once it's cleared up, he'll be back. Mr. Goo said nothing. Just gave her a profound, piercing look. That look made Olivia Lynn's blood run cold. She knew she had to investigate my situation immediately. And the findings had to be in her favor. Otherwise, she wouldn't just lose her position as Mrs. Goo. She could end up with absolutely nothing. I'd just signed a contract in my Iceland studio. Looking at the $500 million cooperation agreement in my hands, the smile on my lips grew wider and wider. Aurora just texted again, hey girl. Olivia Lynn just hired a PI to dig up dirt on you. Looks like Ethan Goo is really losing his mind. I read the message and laughed coldly, typing back, let him dig. I want him to dig as deep as possible. Tell him my life is an open book. But what he finds might just destroy him. Ethan Goo hung up without a second thought. Olivia Lynn clutched her phone so tightly her knuckles turned white. She stared at the empty, lavish new house. The bright chandelier couldn't pierce her rising panic. This was supposed to be her wedding night. A time for sweet intimacy between husband and wife. Her husband was going mad, digging into his ex-wife's life over a text, leaving her alone and abandoned in this luxurious but ice-cold room. So what if she was angry? Everything she had now depended entirely on Ethan Goo. All she could do was grit her teeth and follow his orders. Olivia Lynn immediately called the private investigator she'd hired. Her voice was urgent and commanding. Detective White. I don't care how you do it. I need you to find out everything about Yvonne Sue in Iceland, now. Where is she living? What car does she drive? Is that billion-dollar project real or fake? And exactly how much is she worth? The more details, the better. Money's no object. I want results fast. Rest assured, Miss Lynn. I've already dispatched my people. I have a contact in Iceland. We should have information very soon. Detective White's voice on the other end was full of certainty. However, the name Yvonne Sue isn't exactly unique. Can you provide any more specific clues? Like her passport number or the name of her previous studio? Olivia Lynn froze for a second. How was she supposed to know any of that? She had never taken Yvonne Sue seriously before. She had never cared about a single thing concerning her. All she knew was that she was Ethan Goo's wife. A seemingly docile housewife. Thinking back now, she was laughably foolish. I don't have her passport number. Her old studio, what was it called again? Olivia Lynn was so frantic she was scratching her head. After racking her brain, she finally recalled a blurry name. I think it was called Evening Star Design Studio. Start with that. Report back the second you have anything. Hanging up the phone. Olivia Lynn slumped weakly onto the wedding bed. Staring at the red happiness symbols in the room, she felt only irony. She schemed so hard to get pregnant and force Yvonne's divorce. She thought she had won the whole world. And now what? Yvonne Sue was living a glorious life in Iceland, while she spent her wedding night alone, guarding an empty room. She clings to Mrs. Gu like a pathetic clown playing detective. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, Ethan Gu is driving around the city aimlessly like a madman. Neon lights flash, but can't pierce his inner chaos. His mind is stuck on a loop of what his Uncle Joe said, mixed with Yvonne Sue's dismissive look as she signed the papers. Panic surges. He swerves the car to the roadside. He grabs his phone, frantically searching for leads. He dials the number of Yvonne Sue's former studio assistant. It rings forever. A voice finally answers, "Hello?" The assistant's voice is laced with confusion. It's Ethan Gu. His voice has a slight, almost undetectable tremble. Where's Yvonne Sue? Where is she right now? Is she in Iceland? Does she have some kind of huge project out there? The assistant pauses, then replies coldly, "Mr. Gu. I no longer work for Sister Juan's studio. I'm not aware of her current situation. And furthermore, Sister Juan is doing very well for herself now. I hope you won't bother her again." Not aware? How could you not be aware? Ethan Gu roars. You worked for her for so many years. How could you not know her work schedule? Did she plan the move to Iceland all along? Did she always want to divorce me? Mr. Gu. This is pointless. The assistant's tone sharpens further. Don't you know exactly the kind of person Sister Juan is? She paused her whole studio just to support your career. She gave everything to you and your family. You failed her. And now that she's finally living for herself, why can't you just stop hounding her? I'm hounding her? Ethan Gu is at a complete loss for words, completely shut down. Shame turns to rage. Just give me a straight answer. Or I'll end your career, Mr. Gu. Threats won't work. A scornful laugh escapes his lips. I'm working abroad now. And Sister Juan has already made it very clear. Anyone leaking her info or harassing her for you will face the consequences. I suggest you do the same. The assistant hangs up the phone without another word, leaving Ethan Gu shouting into the deadline. He dials more numbers, Yvonne's old friends and colleagues. But the calls either go unanswered, or is met with cold, clipped voices refusing everything. Only then he sees, Yvonne planned her exit long ago. After their divorce, she completely severed all ties to him, leaving him without a single clue to follow. Damn it. Ethan Gu slams his fist violently against the steering wheel. The horn blared loudly. Pedestrians turned their heads. He couldn't accept it. He opened his laptop and started searching Suyu's name again, including an Iceland project worth $500 million. At first, he found nothing. But just as he was about to give up, a local Icelandic design industry news article popped up. Headline, Designer Yvonne Sue joins top Icelandic firm. Investing $500 million to build a transnational design empire. Below it was a photo from the signing ceremony. In the photo, Yvonne Sue wore a sharply tailored white suit. Her hair was swept up, revealing her delicate collarbone. A confident, relaxed smile graced her face. She stood beside the CEO of the Icelandic firm, holding the signed documents in her hand. Her powerful aura was utterly captivating. Standing beside her were all titans of the international design world, everyone looking at her with admiration and respect in their eyes. The watch on her wrist was a limited edition from a luxury brand, worth over $1 million. When she was with him before, she never wore such expensive jewelry. Ethan Gu's eyes were glued to that photo. His knuckles turned white from the force of his grip. Yvonne Sue in the picture was radiant, confident, and dazzling. Where was the slightest trace of the humiliation of being kicked out? She'd reinvented herself, shining brighter than ever. On his wedding day, she'd signed a $1 billion deal. This was a blatant slap in his face. A declaration of how well she was doing after leaving him. A massive wave of panic and regret instantly drowned Ethan Gu. He finally realized he might have truly made a colossal mistake. He always thought Yvonne Su couldn't leave him. Thought her little studio was insignificant. Thought dumping her was the smartest move. He'd lost a true treasure. His ex-wife was immensely talented, but had long since amassed a huge fortune, and had even laid out plans for the overseas market. Yet Olivia Lynn's beauty and sweet lies blinded him. He pushed away the woman who was even better than him. What devastated him even more, he suddenly recalled the assets Yvonne gave up. He thought she was just furious then, but now, those were the toxic assets left over from his failed investments. A front he used to cover up the company's losses. Yvonne Su had seen through it all long ago, so she didn't hesitate to abandon those liabilities. She took her assets and projects, leaving no regrets. Not only did she not suffer a loss, she made a clean getaway, leaving all the toxic waste for him. Yvonne Su. You liar. You deceived me for all these years. Ethan Gu let out a guttural roar. His fist smashed into the computer screen, shattering it instantly. Shards of glass cut into his hand, drawing fresh blood. But he felt no pain. At that very moment, Olivia Lynn's call came through. Her voice was trembling with a mix of excitement and urgency. Ethan, Detective White has a lead. He found Yvonne Su's address in Iceland. It's a luxury villa in downtown Reykjavik. Worth at least 30 million. And the car she drives? A limited edition Bentley SUV. Plus, her studio has already registered a branch in Iceland. That 500 million project is real. I know. Ethan Gu cut her off. His voice hoarse and terrifying. I've already seen the news. The project she signed on our wedding day. Olivia Lynn froze for a second, immediately sensing the despair in Ethan Gu's voice. Her own heart started to panic. Then what do we do now? Ethan? Did Yvonne plan all of this from the start? Did she deliberately trick us? It was all on purpose. Ethan Gu let out a cold, cynical laugh, filled with self-mockery and madness. Of course it was on purpose. She never took me seriously from the very beginning. She watched me marry you, watched me get cocky and arrogant. Just for today. To watch me squirm like a clown tangled in her game. Ethan, don't be like this. Olivia Lynn's voice was on the verge of tears. What are we going to do now? If people find out how rich Yvonne is, and that she screwed us over during the divorce, how will we ever show our faces in this circle again? What do we do? A dark, vicious look crossed Ethan Gu's eyes. She wants to gloat? I won't let her enjoy it for long. Her project is in Iceland, and most of her assets are overseas. I won't give up finding her weakness. And the car shot forward like an arrow. Tell Detective White to keep digging. Check her project for issues. Look into the source of her assets. Find any dirt on her in Iceland. Dig up dirt on her, no matter what it takes. Okay, I got it. Olivia Lynn agreed hastily. After hanging up, she stared at her haggard face in the mirror. Her heart was filled with pure bitterness. Why couldn't you just leave quietly and accept your fate? Why do you have to be so successful and keep humiliating us? Just wait. I will definitely make you pay. I just returned from a celebration banquet. Aurora Chin sent me a message. She gave me a full report on Ethan Gu and Olivia Lynn's reactions, including Ethan Gu smashing the computer in a rage, and Olivia's desperately hunting a detective for dirt on me. Reading the message, I gently swirled my red wine. The wine traced a beautiful, elegant arc inside the glass. Ethan Gu, are you only just now realizing you were played for a fool? This is just the beginning. All the debts you and Olivia Lynn owe me, I will collect, piece by piece. I'll make you pay the most painful price for your greed and betrayal. I replied to Aurora Chin, telling her to inform Detective White, to let him investigate thoroughly. Any leverage I have in Iceland? Let him dig all he wants. We can even accidentally leak some flaws I planted. Aurora Chin answered back instantly, got it. You're trying to bait them into making a move. Exactly. A cold smirk played at the corner of my lips. They want to find leverage against me? I'll just give them one. But this leverage will make their fall even more brutal. After the celebration, stars filled the Icelandic sky. Distant snow mountains traced hazy silhouettes in the night. The air was saturated with a crisp, pure chill. Our partner's CEO walked me to my car himself. Smiling, he said, "Miss Sue, to collaborate with you on Aurora's Whisper is our absolute honor. I look forward to more exciting work together. A true win-win." I smiled and shook his hand. Turning around, I stepped into the Bentley SUV waiting by the curb. This car was a custom order I'd placed after arriving in Iceland. A white body with black rims, low-key, yet unmistakably luxurious. It matches my current mindset perfectly. No need to show off. But true power can't be hidden. The driver steered smoothly towards the villa. I rolled down the window, letting the night breeze brush my cheek. Watching colorful houses and glittering streetlights pass by. My mood was incredibly bright. This is the life I wanted. Free. Independent. Earning respect and wealth by my own ability. Back at the villa, I didn't rest immediately. Instead, I took my phone and strolled through the courtyard. The villa's yard is huge, filled with local cold-resistant plants. In the corner, there's an open-air geothermal hot spring, and right now, wisps of steam were rising gently into the air. Looking up, I saw aurora streaks painting the night sky. Green ribbons of light wove through the night sky. It was so breathtakingly surreal, I snapped a few photos. One was a panoramic shot of the villa under the aurora. A lit house nestled at the snowy mountain's base, while the aurora bloomed overhead. Another was a silhouette of me standing beside the Bentley, the night breeze tousling my long hair, my white suit looking impossibly sharp against the dark. And another was a close-up of the signed contract. The 500 million figure and both official seals were crystal clear. I drafted the captions and hit post on my social feed in one go. I didn't block anyone. Not the gossiping Goo relatives or Ethan Goo's friends. Caption 1, Aurora as witness, the Aurora's Whisper deal is sealed. A 500 million journey begins. The future is bright. Attached were the signing photo and the Aurora Villa shot. Caption 2, new ride unlocked. Iceland's roads deserve the best company. Attached was my photo with the Bentley. Caption 3, beyond work, there's poetry and the horizon. Iceland's nights heal everything. Attached, open-air hot spring and snowy mountain views. After posting, I put my phone away and sank into the hot spring. Closing my eyes, I savored the tranquility and comfort. I knew these posts would cause a massive uproar back home. And that was exactly what I wanted. I wanted all to see leaving Ethan Goo didn't ruin Yvonne Sue. Instead, I'm living a far more brilliant, dazzling life. It wasn't long before Aurora Chin called. Her excitement was palpable. "Yvonne, you're a legend. Your feed just exploded. Do you know how many are talking about you?" "Oh? Tell me," I asked with a smile, my tone calm. "Let's start with your family circle. Your cousin said her jaw dropped seeing your feed. She said she always knew you were capable, but not this capable. All your mom's relatives are praising you in the group chat, calling you the pride of the Sue family." Aurora Chin's words came out like a machine gun. "And those friends of Ethan Goo's. So many of them liked your posts. Some privately asked if you'd secretly struck it rich and were just pretending." "Pretending?" I laughed. I just didn't feel the need to flaunt it. When I centered on Ethan Goo, no need to show all my cards. But now it's different. I'm living for myself. Naturally, I'm going to live it to the fullest. "Well said," Aurora Chin chimed in. "Oh, by the way, I just heard from a friend that Ethan Goo saw your feed too. Apparently, he was working late at the office. And the moment he saw your photos, he smashed his phone on the spot. He also hurled all the files in his office onto the floor. It scared the employee so badly, no one dared to even go in." "Oh? He's that triggered?" I raised an eyebrow, unsurprised. "Can you blame him?" Aurora chuckled. "Think about it. He just married Olivia. He thought you'd be miserable. Instead, you're flaunting a 500M deal, a luxury car, and a mansion. It's a public execution of his ego. He must be drowning in regret right about now." "Regret is just the beginning," I said, my tone ice cold. "What he and Olivia owe me can't be wiped away with a simple sorry." "And what about Olivia?" Aurora added. "She saw your post and threw a hysterical fit, crying her eyes out. She even trashed all the stuff you used to give to Ethan." She forces a private detective to dig up dirt on you daily, trying to find a crack in your facade of wealth. She tells everyone your deals and cars are rented to spite her. Rented? I let out a scoff. Let her investigate all she wants. I can't wait to see how she twists the truth into a lie. After hanging up with Aurora, I opened my feed and saw the comments and likes had exploded. My cousin said, "Yvonne's killing it. Aurora's whisper is stunning. The project is insane, so proud of you." An old college classmate wrote, "Yvonne Sue, you're the definition of a glow-up legend. You once said you'd take your studio global back in the day. I can't believe you actually did it. Total respect." Some of Ethan's associates chimed in, young and brilliant. Congrats on signing the deal, let's collaborate sometime. Reading these comments, my smile deepened. This recognition. I earned every bit of it through my own hard work. When I was with Ethan, I dimmed my own light on purpose. Just to protect his fragile male ego. And what did I get in return? Betrayal and humiliation. Now, I don't need to hide anymore. I don't need to shrink myself. My power, my wealth, my extraordinary life. I can put it all on full display. And this is just the beginning of my revenge arc. The next morning, I woke up early, threw on my workout gear, and went for a run on the trails around the villa. The Icelandic morning air was crisp and clean, dewdrops still clinging to the roadside grass. Distant, snow-capped mountains shimmered gold at dawn, like a fairy tale. Back from my run, I got a call from the head of the Icelandic branch, saying there were a few crucial deal points he needed to go over. After a quick wash, I slipped into a sharp, tailored black suit, got into my Bentley, and headed straight for the office. The branch was located in Reykjavik's commercial center. Its decor sleek, minimalist, and full of sophisticated design. The staff greeted me warmly when they saw me, their eyes filled with admiration. In the conference room, my team and I dove right into the project plans. Her thinking is sharp, and her decisions are decisive. She locked down several key issues in no time. After the meeting, a young Icelandic designer approached me. His eyes were full of admiration. "Miss Sue, I've long admired your design philosophy. You're so young, yet incredibly talented. I feel so lucky to be working with you." "Thank you." I smiled and nodded. Design requires passion and persistence. I hope we can create the best work together. After chatting briefly with the staff, I left the branch office. I drove to a high-end local jewelry store. I wanted to reward myself with a new piece of jewelry. As soon as I walked into the store, a salesperson greeted me warmly. And once they realized who I was, they became even more deferential. They brought out the store's most prized possessions. In the end, I chose a sapphire necklace. The sapphire was as clear as Iceland's glacial waters. A single diamond was set in the center, understated yet luxurious. I looked poised and confident in the mirror with it. I couldn't help but think back to the days when I was with Ethan Gu. Back then, Ethan always said women didn't need so many luxury goods. They should just be content staying at home. So I rarely bought expensive jewelry. And if I did, I'd only wear it occasionally in private. But now, I buy whatever I want. I don't have to walk on eggshells around anyone. This feeling of freedom, it's just incredible. Wearing my new necklace, I went to Iceland's famous Blue Lagoon. A glass of champagne in hand, attentive staff at my side. This is a life my past self would never have dared to imagine. But it's a life my present self has more than earned. I posted a moment, Blue Lagoon, Sapphire Romance. Work hard to make life exactly what you want. Attached were photos of me in the hot spring wearing the necklace, along with stunning shots of the Blue Lagoon itself. This post detonated my social circle back home once again. Aurora said even Ethan's relatives are gossiping, saying Ethan was blind to abandon me for Olivia. The matriarch cursed him for flushing away their fortune. Word is, Ethan saw the post and smashed his office computer to pieces. He even fired an employee who accidentally said the wrong thing. Olivia Lynn was even more insanely jealous. She posted, "Some people look so polished, but use dirty tricks to climb up. How laughable." But instead of getting support, her post only attracted mockery. Someone commented, "Ms. Lin, if you're jealous, just say so. No need to be so bitter over Yvonne Su's talent and capability. Everyone in this circle knows the truth. No need to be jealous of Suyu's talent and strength. Everyone in the circle knows. She got pregnant to trap a man, and now she's judging others." Talk about the pot calling the kettle black. Olivia saw these comments and deleted the post in a furious panic. But screenshots were already spreading as a new joke at her expense. Looking at the messages Aurora sent me, I felt absolutely nothing. Olivia's jealousy and Ethan's outrage just prove their guilt. Their meltdown only highlights my unbothered success. By early evening, I returned to the villa. My partner sent a gift, a vivid Northern Lights painting. It looked like a piece of Iceland's sky moved before my eyes. Olivia saw those photos of my glamorous new life online, and her eyes went green with envy. She dug her nails into her palms, too furious to feel the pain. She just couldn't wrap her head around it. How could Yvonne Su live so lavishly after Ethan dumped her? A $500 million project, a luxury car, a mansion, those incredible Northern Lights. This was the life she'd always dreamed of. And Yvonne had just waltzed right into it. No. There was no way she'd let Yvonne get away with this. If Yvonne kept shining like this, everyone would mock Olivia as the desperate leftovers, and ridicule Ethan Gu for being a blind fool. Her position as Mrs. Gu would never be secure. Olivia shot up from her seat and dialed the private investigator, Detective White. Her voice was pure venom. "Detective White, it might take forever to find dirt on Yvonne Su's project and assets. So here's a new plan. I want you to hire a troll army to spread rumors online and totally destroy Yvonne Su's reputation." Detective White paused, then asked, "Ms. Lin, what kind of rumors? What do you think?" Olivia hissed through gritted teeth. "Call her project a scam and that investment a fraud. Say her assets have no clear origin, and she slept her way to the top. Make up past scandals about her. Say she'll do anything for a deal, her private life a mess. The more vicious, the better. I want everyone to know Yvonne Su is a two-faced fraud." "But Ms. Lin, isn't that a little too risky? If traced back, it'll ruin both your reputation and Mr. Gu's." Detective White hesitated. "Risky? What exactly do I have left to lose?" Olivia screamed. "Yvonne Su is stomping on my neck. Just do what I said. I'll double your fee. And if you do a good job, there's a fat bonus waiting for you." Seeing Olivia's manic drive and the huge payout offer, White shifted tone. "Understood, Olivia. Don't worry. I'll handle it flawlessly. I guarantee Yvonne Su will be ruined." He hung up the phone. Olivia Lin smiled smugly. "Yvonne, you like to act all high and mighty, so pure and superior? I'll let you taste what it's like to be public enemy number one. By then, everyone will know you're a fraud. Your project will collapse, your partners will abandon you. In the end, you'll be left with nothing." That afternoon, a flood of posts and comments slandering me began appearing online. Shocking. The $500 million Iceland project is a scam. Designer Yvonne Su suspected of defrauding partners. Su's unknown assets? Figure she slept her way up. The hidden truth behind abandoning her ex-husband. Insider reveals Yvonne Su's messy private life. Will stop at nothing for a deal, morally bankrupt. These posts were massively shared by a troll army. They quickly hit the trending list, sparking heated online debate. Many clueless netizens were led astray. Didn't expect this from Su. She looks so innocent, but she's so calculating. Landed 500 mil just like that? Fishy. After all, no one heard of her being this rich before. Dumps ex, suddenly rich? She slept her way up. Absolutely disgusting. Olivia Lin, watching the negative comments online, was ecstatic. She smugly messaged Detective White. "Nice work. Keep pushing, spread this dirt to more platforms. Make sure Yvonne can never recover." White replied, "Got it, Olivia. All arranged. I guarantee she'll be infamous nationwide, hated by everyone." Olivia Lin put down her phone and leaned back on the sofa, imagining Su's panic and breakdown seeing these rumors. The smug smile on her face grew wider and wider. She dreamed of Yvonne's project failing spectacularly, getting sued by her partners, and fleeing back home in disgrace, begging Ethan Gu for forgiveness. She pictured herself as Mrs. Gu, mocking Yvonne coldly. What she never saw coming was that I was already 10 steps ahead. I was deep in talks with our Icelandic partners when I saw the rumors. The CEO had also seen the posts and asked me with a worried look, "Miss Sue, will these rumors affect our project? Should we issue a statement to clear the air?" I smiled and shook my head. No. The truth will surface. These rumors are full of holes, clearly a smear job. We don't need to waste any time on this. The truth is, the moment Olivia Lynn contacted Detective White, Aurora Cheen caught wind of it through a friend and gave me a heads up. I knew Olivia would get desperate and try a dirty trick, so I was ready for it. Aurora quickly found proof that Detective White hired a troll army. She had a contact dig up chats between the troll and White, along with Olivia's payment records to White. She even found a recording of them scheming to fabricate the rumors. But here's the real kicker. Aurora unearthed White's past, extortion and spreading lies. On top of that, he was drowning in gambling debts. Helping Olivia was just a quick payday for his loan sharks. Aurora packaged all the evidence and sent it to me. Olivia just hoisted herself by her own petard. Once this gets out, instead of ruining you, she'll ruin herself too. I looked at the files. Not yet. A cold smirk curling at the corner of my lips. Let's wait. Let her have her moment in the sun. When she thinks she's won, that's when we strike the final blow. I had Aurora leak evidence to reputable media outlets and major influencers in entertainment and business news. The journalists and influencers immediately fact-checked the intel. Chat logs, transfers, recordings, the evidence was rock solid. The proof was clear. Olivia paid White to smear me. The truth came out at lightning speed. A massive plot twist. The truth behind the slander against Yvonne Sue was finally exposed. All orchestrated by her ex's new wife, Olivia Lynn. Olivia Lynn's bank transfer records. Leaked chats prove she hired trolls to smear Yvonne Sue. Detective White's shady past uncovered. He did time for extortion. He pulled this stunt to pay off his gambling debts for Olivia Lynn. As soon as this news broke, the internet went absolutely nuclear. Those fooled by the narrative began switching sides. Oh my god. So Olivia Lynn was the dirty schemer all along. That is just pure evil. Yvonne Sue was just living her life. What's it to her? Who gets that jealous and nasty? Olivia Lynn is textbook sour grapes. She trapped a man with a baby, and dares to judge others? Justice for Yvonne Sue. Betrayed by her ex, then hounded by the mistress too. Thank God the truth finally came out. I just looked up Yvonne Sue's background. Hold up. She literally graduated from a top-tier university. She won an international design award. Her studio's always been profitable. That $500 million deal is legit, with signed contracts and all. Nothing like those nasty rumors made it seem. All of that righteous fury zeroed in on Olivia Lynn instantly. The hashtags #Olivia Lynn malicious smear and #Olivia Lynn get out shot straight to the trending list. Getting way more heat than the earlier slanderous posts. Dirt on Olivia revealed she was just Ethan's lowly secretary. She deliberately seduced Ethan Gu to climb the ladder. Even faked the pregnancy to force Yvonne Sue into a divorce. Someone found out Olivia had a boyfriend back home all along. She dumped him without a second thought to chase the money. More and more of her dirty laundry is getting aired out. Olivia Lynn became public enemy #1 in a heartbeat. People stare and whisper behind her back everywhere she goes. When Ethan heard the news, he was shaking with fury. He stormed home and screamed right in Olivia Lynn's face. Olivia, what have you done? Who told you to go after Yvonne? Have you completely lost your mind? Olivia Lynn jumped out of her skin at his roar. Pale as a ghost, she stammered. I couldn't stand her smugness. I wanted her ruined, begging you. Ethan Gu let out this cold, hollow laugh. He then slapped Olivia Lynn hard across the face. Well, look at the mess now. Yvonne Sue's not the one who's ruined. You've turned yourself into the laughingstock of the entire world. You've dragged our name through the mud. The slap cracked like a whip. The force sent Olivia Lynn crashing to the floor. Her cheek throbbed with pain, tears spilling down instantly. She clutched her face in disbelief, staring at Ethan Gu. You hit me? Ethan Gu, you actually hit me? I'm carrying your child. Your child. Ethan Gu's gaze was ice cold. Now I'm really starting to doubt if this kid is even mine. Olivia Lynn. You have disappointed me beyond words. Just then, Mr. and Mrs. Gu Sr. rushed over after hearing the commotion. The old man entered, seeing Olivia Lynn on the floor. While Ethan Gu stood nearby, his face livid with rage. The living room was trashed. What's going on here? Mr. Gu roared. I've seen the news online. Olivia Lynn, you'd better start explaining yourself right now. Were you the one pulling the strings behind those rumors? Olivia Lynn was too terrified to speak, and just kept crying uncontrollably. Seeing her in this state, the old lady's previous affection vanished. Her tone was frosty. Olivia, our family has treated you generously. The moment you married in, we gave you so many jewels and gifts. We even trusted you with part of the household accounts, hoping you'd build a good life and continue the family line. But what did you do? You pulled this vicious stunt. Hiring trolls to smear Yvonne Sue. Can't stand her that much? I didn't mean for it to go this far, Olivia Lynn said, sobbing. I was just so jealous of Yvonne Sue. I was afraid she'd come back and steal Yanchen away, and my position as Mrs. Gu threatened. You thought this would help? Mr. Gu was trembling with fury. You've only sabotaged yourself. Now the entire internet is slamming you. You've dragged the Gu family's name through the mud. How can Yanchen hold his head up in business now? Ethan Gu was equally fuming. He pointed at Olivia Lynn and declared, from this day forward, you're forbidden from stepping 1 foot outside this house. You're stripped of any duties. If you dare cause another scandal, I will divorce you immediately. Olivia Lynn shivered violently, not daring to utter another word. She never imagined that her desperate attempt to destroy Yvonne Sue backfired, pushing her to the edge. She became public enemy number 1. And was now despised by both Ethan Gu and the elders. Even her status as Mrs. Gu was hanging by a thread. As for me, once the rumors were cleared, my reputation didn't suffer one bit. It only got better. Everyone praised me for being kind and gracious, for keeping my cool against such malicious attacks. Support flooded in. My partners also trusted me even more. A tire group vouched for the Aurora's Whisper project's integrity, and publicly acknowledged me as their most reliable partner. Several top design firms reached out to me proactively, wanting to work together. I saw the online support and praise. I felt nothing at all. Olivia Lynn's tricks were nothing but a clown show in my eyes. She thought a smear campaign could take me down. But real strength can never be destroyed by rumors. Aurora Chin sent me a message. Yvonne, Olivia Lynn is completely finished this time. Ethan Gu has grounded her. The Gu family elders are furious with her, too. She's a total pariah now. Everyone wants a piece of her. I replied, she's just getting what she deserves. Ethan Gu slapped Olivia Lynn to the floor. Before she could even catch her breath, old Master Gu slammed his cane onto the floorboards with a sickening thud. That seemed to shake the entire living room. You disgrace. What a pair of disgraces. Old Master Gu's face was pale with rage, as he pointed at Ethan Gu and Olivia Lynn, his chest heaving violently. How did our family produce scum like you? Yanchen, I never agreed to your divorce with Yvonne Sue. I never agreed to this marriage. You wouldn't listen. And now look. The whole world is laughing at our family. Old Madame Gu had also dropped her gentle facade with Olivia Lynn, her face full of disappointment and disgust. Yuan, hasn't our family been generous to you? The moment you married in, we gave you all that jewelry. We even trusted you to manage some of the household accounts, so you could build a good life with Yanchen and give the Gu family an heir. But what did you do? You did something this vicious? Hiring a troll army to slander Yvonne? Can you just not stand her existence? Olivia clutched her face, sobbing uncontrollably, struggling to get up and grab old Madame Gu's hand. But the old woman dodged her with disgust. Mom, I didn't mean it. I just love Yanchen too much. I was so afraid Yvonne would come back and steal him. I almost lost everything. It was madness. Please forgive me. Forgive you? Old Master Goo sneered. A small matter? The whole internet is trashing you. They say the Goo family enabled a venomous woman like you. Yanshen's company stock has already started to plummet. Our business partners are calling to demand answers. How can you possibly ask us to forgive you? Ethan's face darkened like a thundercloud. Regret consumed him. If he hadn't fallen for Olivia. If he hadn't been blinded by her youth and beauty. If he hadn't divorced Yvonne. How did it come to this? Yvonne was gentle, brilliant. She'd have helped his career. And what about Olivia Lynn? Besides being young and pretty, she brings him nothing but trouble. She's dragged both names through the mud. I slipped up. I didn't keep Olivia in line. I'll handle it. Ethan Goo's voice was laced with exhaustion and irritation. I'll make her publicly apologize and clear up every single rumor. A public apology? Think that'll work? Old Mr. Goo glared at him with burning fury. Everyone knows she was the one who maliciously smeared Yvonne Sue. Even if she apologizes now, the damage is done. Ethan, mark my words, this is far from over. As he spoke, old Mr. Goo turned toward the butler. Bring me the family's financial records. I'm auditing them myself. She's been snooping around our core business. She even contacted finance on the sly, trying to shift some assets. Is that true? The butler nodded hastily and left to get the ledgers. She went pale at shift some assets. A violent trembling seized her. She'd toyed with that idea for a while. She didn't trust Ethan Goo's company. She wanted to move assets as insurance. It never crossed her mind that old Mr. Goo would catch wind of it. No. I never moved any assets. I was just curious about the company. That's all it was. Nothing more. Old Mr. Goo's gaze pinned her in place, sharp as a razor blade. We'll have our answers soon enough, once the ledgers are here. Did you honestly think you could hide these cheap tricks from me? The butler returned with the ledgers and handed them to old Mr. Goo. Mr. Goo put on his glasses and checked meticulously. His expression darkened with every page. I see. Just incredible. Old Mr. Goo slammed the ledgers onto the table with a thunderous crack. You secretly transferred 2 million yuan. You applied for a loan under our name. Where did the money go? Olivia Lynn's knees buckled. She nearly crashed to the floor again. She stammered, I wanted to invest. An investment? What investment needs this much money and secrecy? Grandma Goo was furious too. Did you transfer the money into your own account? Olivia Lynn, you've got some nerve. Ethan Goo froze. He never thought Olivia would embezzle and take secret loans. If this gets out, not only will his company be affected, but it might even violate the law. Olivia Lynn, you tell me right now, where did the money go? Ethan Goo grabbed Olivia Lynn's arm, squeezing so hard she screamed in pain. I lent the money to my brother. Olivia finally confessed. Burst into tears. My brother racked up a huge gambling debt. The debt collectors were banging on his door every day. I had to transfer money and take a loan for his debts. I was going to return it. I swear. Your brother? Gambling debts? Ethan Goo was shaking with rage. He violently shook off her hand. You took company money, the Goo family's money, to pay off your brother's gambling debts? Olivia Lynn, you're absolutely hopeless. Grandpa Goo was so furious he nearly fainted. Grandma Goo rushed over to hold him up. You wicked, wicked girl. Grandpa Goo pointed at Olivia Lynn. How did our Goo family end up with a curse like you? Not only are you vicious, you're greedy and selfish. You're treating the Goo family like your personal ATM. Dad, Mom, I know I was wrong. Olivia Lynn knelt on the floor, kowtowing repeatedly. I'll make my brother pay the money back. I swear I'll make him pay it back. Please, just give me one more chance. A chance? We've already given you far too many chances. Grandpa Goo said coldly. From forcing Yvonne into a divorce, to getting pregnant and acting like a spoiled princess, and now hiring trolls to smear Yvonne and embezzling assets. Is there a single time you haven't crossed the line? Olivia Lynn, don't think carrying a Goo child gives you free rein. As he spoke, Grandpa Goo turned to Ethan Goo. His tone severe. Ethan, I'm giving you two choices. First, divorce Olivia Lynn immediately. Demand she returns the embezzled money and the loan amount. Then kick her out with nothing. Second, if you insist on staying with her, then get out. I'll reclaim your shares. From then on, the Goo family means nothing to you. Choose. Ethan Goo was stunned. He never expected Grandpa Goo to be so ruthless, forcing a choice. One side was his new wife, carrying his child. The family who raised him, the empire he bled to build. He stared at Olivia Lynn, collapsed and sobbing. His heart curdled with disgust and regret. If it wasn't for her, he'd still be with Yvonne Sue right now. Yvonne never dragged him into this kind of mess. She kept the company running like a well-oiled machine. He wouldn't be trapped, suffocating under the family's thumb. You have to save me. You can't divorce me. I'm carrying your baby. Olivia Lynn clawed at Ethan Goo's pant leg, wailing desperately. Our child can't grow up without a father. I can't live without you. Please, beg your father. Give me one more chance. I swear, I'll never step out of line again. Ethan Goo looked down at that tear-streaked, delicate face. Once, it had seemed so captivating. Now, it just made his skin crawl. With a vicious kick, he shook off her grip. His voice was pure ice. Olivia Lynn, you've disappointed me beyond words. He turned to the old master and took a ragged breath. Dad. I need time to think. You have 3 days. The old man's tone was as sharp as a guillotine. In 3 days, I expect your decision. If you still can't choose by then, don't blame me for erasing you from this family line. With a final slam of his cane, the old man stormed out, fuming. The grandmother glanced at her, shook her head, and followed. Now, it was just Ethan Goo and Olivia Lynn alone in the living room. The silence was a crushing weight, suffocating them both. Olivia Lynn collapsed to the floor, tears streaming uncontrollably. Fear and bitter resentment churned inside her. She never imagined things would spiral this far. The old man actually meant to force Ethan Goo to divorce her. Divorce was not an option. The second she signed those papers, she'd lose everything. From enviable Mrs. Goo to a discarded woman with nothing. Buried in debt. Ethan, don't leave me. She tried to cling to his leg. But he coldly sidestepped her. Don't touch me. Ethan Goo's voice was completely devoid of warmth. Olivia Lynn, you better pray your brother pays back that money fast. Otherwise, no one can save you. With that, Ethan Goo turned and walked away. Without sparing her a single glance. He locked himself away, chain-smoking. Through the smoke, her image haunted him. He remembered the dismissive look in her eyes when they divorced. He remembered those glamorous photos of her in Iceland. His heart was filled with endless regret and pain. If only he hadn't betrayed Yvonne Sue back then. If only he had cherished her goodness when he had it. Would his life be completely different now? No family pressure or debt crisis. He certainly wouldn't be a laughingstock for the whole world. But now, it was too late for any of that. He found her WeChat, but he'd blocked her. He wanted to call her, but found his number was blocked too. He realized she'd truly given up on him. She was never coming back. Yvonne Sue. Ethan Goo murmured her name. His voice full of despair. Meanwhile, Olivia Lynn sat on the cold floor. Her eyes turned venomous. No divorce. If Ethan Goo wouldn't help her, she'd find a way on her own. Yvonne Sue. This is all because of you. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be in this mess. I won't let you get away with this. She picked up her phone and dialed an unfamiliar number. Her tone laced with pure malice. Hey, it's me. I need you to do something. Eliminate Yvonne Sue. Yeah. I don't care how you do it. I want her gone for good. Money's no object. Get it done, and I'll pay you 10 million. She hung up the phone. A vicious smile spread across Olivia Lynn's face. Just you wait, Yvonne Sue. If I can't have what I want, neither can you. You ruined my life, so I'll take yours. In Iceland, I was inspecting a project. A message detailed the Gu family's crisis, including Olivia Lynn's asset transfers, how Grandpa Gu had forced Ethan into an ultimatum, and even speculation that Olivia Lynn might try to harm me. I looked at the message, a cold smirk playing on my lips. Olivia Lynn, drowning yourself and still threatening me? I told Aurora, let Olivia try. I'll wait. I hadn't even settled the score with her yet. In his study, Ethan Gu smoked cigarettes all night long. The ashtray was overflowing with cigarette butts. Smoke seared his throat, voice hoarse. But he didn't notice. Outside, the sky brightened. The first ray of morning light cut through a gap in the curtains. Yet it couldn't penetrate the gloom hanging over his heart. 3 days left. On one side, the family's suffocating pressure. On the other, the toxic assets Olivia Lynn had dumped on him. It all circled back to one, Yvonne Su, the ex-wife he'd cast aside, now thriving. He crushed the cigarette in his hand, his eyes turning ruthless. He couldn't just lie down and take this. He had to know if Yvonne deliberately avoided those core assets. Had she already moved the real wealth long ago? Ethan Gu grabbed his phone immediately and dialed the company's CFO. His tone was frantic. Director Zhang, pull up the financial reports for the last 3 years. Immediately. And the breakdown of all failed projects. My office, now. And the asset division papers from my divorce with Yvonne Su. Bring them all. Now. Right now. Right away, Mr. Gu. I'm on it. Director Zhang didn't dare delay and quickly responded. After hanging up, Ethan Gu sped to the office. The whole drive, his mind was a whirlwind of emotions. A desperate need for truth, laced with a creeping, strange dread. He was terrified that Yvonne had truly played him for a fool. Afraid the assets he claimed were mere debt. Director Zhang had all the files ready when he arrived. Stacked neatly and waiting on his desk. Taking a deep breath, he picked up the divorce papers to study every page. Crystal clear, Yvonne Su gave up all Gu Corporation shares. She relinquished 2 jointly owned downtown properties. She walked away from a luxury car. She only kept a pre-marriage apartment and her studio. Back then, he had mocked her for being an idiot, leaving all those prime assets behind and taking nothing but scraps. But looking at it now, something felt terribly, terribly wrong. He picked up the financials and turned each page with heavy dread. The more he read, the darker his expression became. The numbers were ghastly. Revenue looked fine on paper. But the actual net profit was pitifully low. His prized projects were bleeding money. Losses had topped 80 million. How? Ethan Gu's hands started trembling. He remembered those projects always being reported as profitable. How could the losses be this massive? He summoned Director Zhang, angrily pointing at the report. What the hell is going on with these projects? Why are the losses so deep? All the previous reports you gave me claimed they were profitable. Zhang turned white, head bowed. Mr. Gu. She used her profits to cover these cracks. And she explicitly told us to make sure you never found out. She didn't want to put too much pressure on you. It was Yvonne. Ethan Gu's pupils constricted sharply. He looked as if he'd just heard something completely impossible. So Yvonne was secretly funding my company? Why yes, Mr. Gu. Director Zhang nodded. Ms. Su's studio is extremely profitable. And her premarital investments had very stable returns too. She was always quietly funneling money into the company. She wanted you to focus without worry. But, after you and Ms. Su got divorced, the subsidies stopped. The losses hit Ethan like a sledgehammer. He had always believed he was a business elite. That the company's scale today was all a result of his own hard work. His proud career was propped up by Yvonne. He recalled her warnings against rash moves. He'd brushed her off as nagging. Now he knew. She'd seen the truth. She quietly filled the sinkholes he dug. The downtown properties? Ethan Gu fought back the shock welling up inside and pressed on. Those apartments appreciated in value, didn't they? Why isn't that reflected in the report? You mortgaged them long ago. Zhang's voice dropped. 3 years ago, we needed capital. You mortgaged both for 50 million. Now the project's a failure and the loan is overdue. The bank's already demanding repayment. Soon, they'll seize the assets. What? Ethan Gu shot to his feet. His chair skidding far backwards across the floor. I mortgaged them? I don't remember. You signed while drunk. Ms. Su discovered it. Director Zhang responded, choosing his words with extreme caution. Ms. Su was afraid you'd be worried sick, so she never told you. She had a plan to pay off the debt. But you divorced her. Ethan collapsed, drained. Yvonne hadn't left premium assets behind. It's a pile of toxic assets. Properties about to be seized, plus massive loans. And what Yvonne Su took? That was her own premarital property. Her highly profitable studio. Her stable investments. She always knew his company and assets were liabilities. That's why she let go without a second thought. She walked away clean, taking her core wealth with her. She didn't lose a thing. In fact, she completely rid herself of a dead weight, him. And she dumped all this mess right on his lap. Like a fool, he thought he'd scored the deal of a lifetime. He rushed to marry Olivia and flaunt his win. And that car? That car? You'd already taken out a second mortgage on it. Borrowed 2 million to keep your company on life support. Now the loan company's circling in. Ethan Gu couldn't listen anymore. He clutched his chest, suffocating under wave after wave of panic. He'd lived in a beautiful illusion built by Yvonne Su. The so-called wealth, she gave it all to him. The moment Yvonne Su left, his whole world collapsed instantly. He recalled her divorce words, I don't care about material things. Back then he thought she was just bitter, lying to herself. Now he knew she meant every word. What mattered to him? To Yvonne, they were worthless trash. Ethan burst out laughing. A laughter dripping with self-mockery and despair. What a fool. He always thought he won in this marriage. Thought he'd gotten rid of a burden. He let go of the woman who silently sacrificed everything. The one holding up his entire world. He didn't just get no advantage. No, he got saddled with a mountain of debt. And he'd pushed himself straight into an inescapable hell. Just then, the office door burst open. Olivia Lin stormed in, pale as a ghost, clutching a court summons. Crying, Ethan Gu, everything's going wrong. The bank sued us. They said we owe 50 million. Pay up or lose everything. Loan sharks showed up too, they're repossessing the car. Yanchen stared at Olivia Lin's panicked, twisted face. Endless, burning hatred filled his chest. If it weren't for her seducing him, wrecking his marriage to Suyue. How could he have fallen so far? This is all on you. Yanchen jerked to his feet, grabbing Olivia Lin's arm. His bloodshot eyes looked ready to devour her. If not for you. I wouldn't have divorced Yvonne. If it wasn't for you. I wouldn't be standing here, ruined. You're a curse, Olivia Lin. You destroyed me. I didn't mean for any of this. Lin Yuan sobbed in terror. How could I know? Ethan Gu, just think of something. We can't let the bank foreclose on the property. And we can't let the loan company repo the cars. We need a plan. What plan could I possibly have? Ethan Gu roared, shoving Olivia Lin away. Yvonne Su took all the prime assets. All she left me was debt. We're bleeding cash. Banks and loan sharks are closing in. I've hit a dead end. Olivia Lin collapsed on the floor, crying in despair. She thought the Gu family meant a life of luxury. Little did she know, she'd married an empty shell. A broke loser on the verge of bankruptcy. Just then, Ethan Gu's phone rang. It was old Mr. Gu calling. He answered with a trembling hand, but before he could speak. Old Mr. Goo's furious voice boomed from the other end. Ethan Goo. You come home right this instant. The bank representatives are here at the house, threatening to seize our family estate. Partners sent termination notices. The deals are dead. What the hell have you turned this company into? Ethan's vision went black. He almost collapsed. Seize the estate? Partners terminating contracts? This was salt in an open wound. He was drowning in debt and facing bankruptcy. And now losing the family home. Dad, The word stuck in his throat, as if a lump was blocking it. Don't say another word. Get back here now, old Mr. Goo roared before hanging up. Ethan lowered the phone, surveying the wreckage. Staring at Olivia Lynn sobbing on the floor. A wave of bitter irony washed over him. He had schemed relentlessly to get rid of Yvonne Sue. To find happiness with Olivia Lynn. And this is where it landed him. Meanwhile, Yvonne Sue, the woman he discarded, was living a glorious life in Iceland. Her career was skyrocketing, her wealth multiplying. Compared to her, he was nothing but a pathetic clown. Crushed under Yvonne's heel. He muttered her name like a curse. His eyes were filled with endless regret and despair. He finally saw his foolishness. He destroyed his own happiness. He pushed away the one woman who loved and could help him most. He stormed out, driving straight to the Goo family estate. He didn't even know what else he could do. His only hope was old Mr. Goo to salvage the situation. But deep down, he knew it was too late. He had reached a dead end. In Iceland, my team and I celebrated a new partnership. Aurora Cheen messaged me, detailing Ethan's meltdown over the asset truth. She spared no detail about his company's unfolding crisis. I looked at the message, raised my glass, and took a sip. Ethan Goo. This is what you get for betraying me. The victory you thought you had was a trap I set long ago. You coveted Olivia's youth, ignoring all I did for you. Now you taste the bitter fruit. And this is just the beginning. You and Olivia Lynn still owe me so much more. Next, I'll ensure your complete bankruptcy. You'll be left with nothing. I will make you pay the most painful price for what you have done. I told Aurora to inform the bank and loan companies. No need to go easy. Seize whatever needs to be seized. Collect whatever debts need to be collected. Also, contact the major partners of Goo Corporation. Tell them I can offer them more favorable terms of cooperation. Get them to terminate their contracts with Ethan Goo immediately. Aurora Cheen replied, understood. I'm on it. This time, Ethan Goo is truly beyond saving. The living room of the Goo family's old estate was in complete chaos. The bank officer, grim-faced, held the seizure notice center stage. Goo family elders and relatives, alerted by the news, surrounded them. The sound of murmuring and accusations rose and fell. Old Mr. Goo was trembling with rage. His hand on his cane was shaking. As he pointed at Ethan Goo and cursed, you wretched disgrace. A family business built over generations, ruined by your hands. Old Mrs. Goo sat on the sofa, wiping away tears. Muttering what a sin. Ethan stood rooted, ashen and speechless. His mind was now filled with nothing but regret. Regret for not listening to Yvonne's words in the first place. Regret for being bewitched by Olivia Lynn. But now, anything he said was too late. Just then, Olivia Lynn suddenly shrieked, no. You can't seize the estate. This is the Goo family's ancestral home. You have no right to do this. She lunged at the officer, trying to snatch the seizure notice. But the staff immediately blocked her. Ms. Lynn, please calm down. Mr. Ethan Goo owes the bank $50 million in loans that are past due. We're seizing all his assets legally, including this old family estate. Olivia Lynn threw a hysterical tantrum. This estate belongs to the Goo family, not just him alone. You can't do this. I'm carrying the Goo family's child. If you seize the house, where will my child and I live? Everyone watched her scene with contempt. Yanchen wouldn't have fallen so low if it weren't for her. What a damn curse. She's dragging the Gu family down now. These murmurs pricked at Olivia Lynn's heart like needles. She turned to Ethan Gu, crying and begging. Please, do something. You can't let them take the house. Don't let us and our child become homeless. All Ethan Gu felt was disgust at the sight. He realized she only wanted his money and status. She never truly loved him. She was just using him as a stepping stone to climb the social ladder. Just then, a man's voice came from the doorway. Stop the act, Olivia Lynn. You were never sincere about living a life with Ethan Gu. You only ever loved the Gu family's money. A plainly dressed man stood at the door. His eyes were blazing with fury and resentment. Olivia turned pale and shook violently seeing him. Get out of here. You're not welcome. Why shouldn't I be here? He walked in, holding a stack of photos and chat logs. I'm here to expose you for the fraud you really are. Olivia Lynn, don't you forget how you dumped me. You said you were marrying into wealth and told me to wait for you. Then you got pregnant with Ethan Gu's child. And threw me away like trash. His words went off like a bombshell in the living room. Olivia Lynn had a boyfriend before? So she was just a gold digger after Ethan's money all along? Oh my god, this is just sick and twisted. The elders of the Gu family looked even more grim. They never expected Olivia Lynn to have such a sordid past. You're spouting nonsense. Olivia Lynn panicked and tried to cover up. We broke up ages ago. Yanchen and I are truly in love. Truly in love? The man sneered and threw the photos and chat logs onto the table. Look at these yourself. These are the messages you sent me back then. You said you'd bring me over once you settled in at the Gu family. Here are the records of you borrowing money from me. You said it was to pay off your brother's debts. But the truth is, you took my money for plastic surgery and designer handbags. To hook up with Ethan Gu, you fraud. Olivia Lynn completely panicked. She never imagined this man would expose everything. She dropped to her knees, begging desperately, Mom, Dad. Ethan, I know I messed up. I lost my mind, blinded by greed. I swear I'll never do it again. Please, just forgive me this once. Forgive you? Gu said coldly. You lied to get married and tried to steal assets. You plotted against Yvonne, and now all of this surfaces? Did you really think we'd ever forgive you? Just then, Ethan Gu's phone rang. It was the police. Hello? Am I speaking with Mr. Ethan Gu? We received a tip-off. Your wife, Olivia Lynn, is suspected of hiring an assailant. Please cooperate with our investigation. Ethan Gu whipped his head toward Olivia Lynn. His eyes filled with utter disbelief. You hired someone? Who were you trying to hurt? Olivia Lynn's face went ghostly white. She collapsed to the floor. She couldn't utter a single word. It was Yvonne, wasn't it? Ethan Gu's voice was thick with fury. I must have been blind to marry a woman like you. You destroyed my career, and now you tried to harm my ex-wife. You're beyond redemption. Aurora Chin exposed Olivia's plot against me through her contacts. The police investigation uncovered solid evidence. And now, they were here. Officers soon entered the Gu estate to arrest Olivia Lynn. We suspect you're involved in a conspiracy to commit assault. You'll need to come with us. Olivia Lynn was petrified. She clung to Ethan Gu's leg, sobbing desperately, Ethan, please save me. I can't go to jail. I'm carrying your child. Talk to the police, let me off just this once, please. Ethan Gu kicked her hands away with a violent jerk. His voice was as cold as ice. Olivia Lynn, let's get a divorce. From now on, you have no ties to me or the Gu family. I won't interfere in your affairs anymore. No, Ethan. You can't do this to me. Olivia Lynn screamed in despair. But Ethan Gu didn't even spare her a second glance. He told the police, I'll cooperate fully. I know absolutely nothing about her affairs. The officer nodded, cuffed Olivia Lynn, and led her out. Olivia Lynn watched Ethan Gu's cold, retreating back. She saw the contemptuous stares from the surrounding relatives. Suddenly, she started shrieking hysterically, Ethan Gu. Yvonne Su. I won't let you get away with this. No one paid her crazed words any mind. Without a glance back, the police escorted her out. As Olivia Lynn was taken away, the living room finally fell silent. Old Mr. Gu let out a heavy sigh. Ethan. Do you see your mistake now? I told you back then not to divorce Yvonne Sue. I told you not to marry this woman, but you wouldn't listen. The mess you're in now, you brought it all upon yourself. Ethan Gu kept his head down, utterly silent. His heart was now consumed by endless regret and agony. But everything was beyond repair. The relatives also shook their heads and left. They paused to add a few sharp remarks. Ethan. Think before you act from now on. Don't be fooled by a pretty face. Yvonne was a good woman. Losing her is the biggest loss of your life. You better figure out fast how to solve the company crisis. Don't let the Gu family legacy crumble in your hands. After the relatives left, only Ethan Gu remained. Along with old Mr. and Mrs. Gu. The atmosphere was so suffocating it was hard to breathe. Dad, Mom, I know I messed up. Ethan Gu finally spoke. A slight choke was in his voice. I should never have betrayed Yvonne. I should never have married Olivia Lynn. I shouldn't have blindly invested. I'm so sorry. And to the Gu family. What's the use of saying all that now? Mrs. Gu wiped her tears. The company is collapsing. The old family estate has been seized, Ethan Gu. What are we supposed to do now? Ethan Gu was consumed by despair. He had no idea what else he could do. No clue how to salvage any of this. Meanwhile, far away in Iceland, I was taking a walk along the beach. Aurora said Olivia Lynn's true colors were exposed. Everyone turned on her, the police took her away. I read it, a cold smile on my lips. Olivia Lynn, this is exactly what you deserve. Your greed. Your selfishness, willing to do anything for money and status. In the end, you're hoist by your own petard. I replied to Aurora Chin, well done. Next, keep an eye on Ethan Gu's company. Make sure he's completely bankrupt. Leave him no chance to recover. Aurora Chin replied, understood. Ethan Gu is already at a dead end. Just one more push from us, and he's finished for good. The moment Olivia Lynn was taken away by the police, Ethan Gu's world completely fell apart. Bankruptcy notices flew in like snowflakes. Partners cancelled, creditors came daily. The bank seized his estate, cars, everything. The massive group office building was slapped with auction seals. The old master collapsed, unconscious in hospital. The old Mrs. Gu spends her days in tears. The entire Gu family is plunged into unprecedented despair. Ethan Gu has become a stray dog. Once a tycoon, now a man everyone avoids. He only has a few $100 in cash left, no place to even stay. Forced to hole up in a cheap motel near the hospital. He cares for his father, seeking a way out. But he's racked his brain and can't come up with anything. His old circle of friends now avoids him. No one is willing to lend a helping hand. He sees they only loved his wealth and status. The moment he had nothing, he was completely abandoned. At his wit's end, he thought of Yvonne Sue. Only Yvonne Sue. Only that ex-wife he deeply hurt has the power to save him. Yvonne Sue's career soars, worth over $100 million. She holds multiple international projects. Only her help can save the fallen Gu family. Ethan Gu knows he wronged Yvonne Sue. Knows he has no face to see her. But he truly has no other choice. For the Gu family. For the comatose old master. He can only swallow all his pride and go beg Yvonne Sue. He sold his last watch to afford a flight to Iceland. When he boarded the flight to Iceland, wearing old, faded clothes that had been washed one too many times, his hair was a mess, his face covered in stubble. Exhaustion and deep, gut-wrenching humility filled his eyes. He was a far cry from the confident, proud Ethan Gu. After over 10 hours, the plane landed at Iceland's Keflavik airport. Ethan exited the airport, taking in the alien surroundings. He watched stylish, well-dressed crowds pass by. His heart was pounding with anxiety and unease. He had no idea if Yvonne would even agree to see him. He didn't know how she would treat him. And he certainly didn't know if she'd be willing to help him. He hailed a cab and headed straight for Yvonne's villa. The entire drive, he stared at Iceland's stunning scenery. He watched luxury cars speeding past him on the road. Jealousy and regret flooded him. If he hadn't betrayed Yvonne, wouldn't he be living this idyllic life right beside her now? But now, any words of regret were far too late. The taxi pulled up outside Yvonne's villa. He looked up at the magnificent, imposing mansion, and the line of luxury cars parked in the courtyard. A wave of even greater self-loathing washed over Ethan Gu. He took a deep breath and straightened his shabby clothes. Summoning every ounce of courage he had left, he rang the doorbell. Very quickly, the villa's main door swung open. One of Yvonne's housekeepers asked, "Who are you looking for?" The housekeeper inquired in fluent Chinese, a trace of confusion in her eyes. She was clearly puzzled by Ethan Gu's disheveled appearance. "I'm here to see Yvonne Su. I'm her ex-husband, Ethan Gu." Ethan's voice trembled slightly. A deeply humble, groveling smile was plastered on his face. The housekeeper froze, shocked Yvonne's ex-husband showed up. She eyed him thoroughly, then replied, "One moment. I'll ask Miss Su." With that, the housekeeper turned and walked into the villa. Ethan's heart pounded like a restless rabbit at the door. He rubbed his hands nervously, eyes fixed on the villa entrance. Terrified of hearing that Yvonne didn't want to see him. The housekeeper returned moments later. "Miss Su will see you now. Come with me." Ethan sighed with relief and quickly followed her inside. The villa's interior was luxuriously decorated, yet tasteful. Every detail exuded class and wealth. Ethan felt bitter looking around. All of this could have been his. But now, it had nothing to do with him anymore. The housekeeper led him to the living room and then turned and left. Ethan stood in the middle of the room, looking around. He quickly spotted Yvonne sitting on the sofa. Yvonne wore a cream cashmere sweater and light wide-leg pants. Her long hair cascaded casually over her shoulders. Wearing no makeup, she was still dazzlingly beautiful. Beside her sat a foreign man with blonde hair and blue eyes. He looked refined and was talking to her quietly. The atmosphere between them was very harmonious. The moment he saw her, Ethan's heart raced. How long since he'd seen her this close? She was more confident, more composed than before. And even more dazzling. Hearing footsteps, Yvonne looked up and saw Ethan. Her face was expressionless. Her eyes were calm and still, like a deep lake without a ripple. As if looking at a stranger. "Yvonne." His voice trembled, nearly sobbing. He walked towards her step by step. Yvonne didn't get up. She just said flatly, "Sit." The foreign man also looked over at Ethan. There was a hint of curiosity in his eyes. Yvonne whispered a few words to him in a foreign language. The man nodded, stood, smiled politely at Ethan, and left the room. Now, only Ethan and Yvonne remained. The atmosphere was awkward. 1,000 words stuck in his throat. He just wanted to say sorry. "I wanted to say I was sorry for how miserable my life is now. But I just said, Yvonne, I was wrong." Yvonne picked up the coffee on the table and took a delicate sip. Her tone was flat. "What do you want?" There wasn't a trace of warmth in her voice. She might as well have been talking to a complete stranger. A sharp, stabbing pain pierced Ethan Gu's heart. He knew Yvonne Su truly didn't care about him anymore. He swallowed his pride and laid out his pathetic situation. "I know I wronged you before. I shouldn't have betrayed you. I shouldn't have married Olivia Lin. I shouldn't have ignored your advice. Now the Gu family is bankrupt. The old house is seized. My father is in a coma. My mother cries every single day. I'm truly at my wit's end, Yvonne. Please, I'm begging you. Help the Gu family. I'll do anything." His voice broke with desperation. Tears he couldn't hold back streamed down his face. He dropped to his knees and knocked his head on the floor. "Yvonne, I know I don't deserve to ask you, but I have no other way. Please. For the sake of the bond we once shared as husband and wife. For the sake of how well the Gu elders used to treat you." Yvonne watched him collapse, crying his heart out. Her face was still a mask of utter indifference. A cold smirk touched her lips. Our bond as husband and wife? Ethan Gu. Did that bond cross your mind when you betrayed me? Did our bond cross your mind when you flaunted your affair? When you treated the assets I trashed as treasure? Did that bond ever cross your mind then? Her words stabbed into his heart like sharp knives. Ethan Gu's sobbing came to an abrupt halt. He raised his head to look at Yvonne's icy stare. His heart was consumed by utter despair. Yvonne, I know I messed up. I truly know I did. I will change. I promise. I'll spend my life making it up to you. One more chance. Yvonne let out a scornful laugh. I gave you plenty of chances. You chose to throw every single one away. Ethan Gu, the mess you're in now? You brought this on yourself. It has nothing to do with me. But the Gu family, Ethan Gu started to say. The Gu family? Yvonne cut him off. Back then, the Gu family condoned your affair with Olivia. They condoned your betrayal of me. At our wedding, they gossiped about trashing me. No one considered my feelings. Now that they're in trouble, suddenly they remember I exist? The world doesn't work that way. Ethan Gu was speechless. Curse me all you want. Just please help me, he begged again. Take all my assets. I'll do whatever you say. Help me get back on my feet. You want me to remarry you? Laughable joke. She laughs uncontrollably. Ethan Gu. Have you lost your mind? You actually think I'd still want you? A broke, penniless loser? A man who betrayed me? A fool who got played by a gold digger? You think I'd remarry you? His words lash across Ethan Gu's face like a whip, making him feel utterly humiliated. Let me tell you something, Ethan Gu. I'm doing great now. Career booming, life easy. I have people who appreciate me around me, friends who support me. No need for apologies, nor remarrying you. Yvonne Su's tone turns icy and resolute. The life or death of you and the Gu family is none of my concern. Now get the hell out of my sight, right now. I don't want to ever see you again. Ethan Gu's face turns as pale as paper. He kneels on the ground, his whole body drained of strength. He never imagined Yvonne Su could be so heartless. Dismissing him so cruelly. Yvonne, really? Ethan Gu's voice carries a trace of despair. Cruel? Yvonne stands, walks over, and looks down at him. I call it paying you back in your own coin. The cruelty you showed me back then? I'm just returning it to you now, with interest. Ethan Gu, get it through your head. You deserve every last bit of this. Just then, that foreign man walks in, followed by several bodyguards. Seeing Ethan Gu kneeling on the floor, the man frowns slightly. He asks her in another language, need help? She nods, replying in the same, get him out. Make sure he never returns. Got it. The man nods, flashing a signal at the bodyguards. Bodyguard sees Ethan and drag him out. Yvonne, you can't do this to me. Ethan Gu struggles frantically, screaming at the top of his lungs. I won't let you get away with this. Yvonne Su watches his back as he's dragged out. There isn't the slightest ripple of emotion in her eyes. She just says, flatly, I'll be waiting. Ethan's tossed out, the door slams shut. He stares at the closed villa gate, at the luxury cars in the yard, at the distant snowy mountains and the aurora. His heart is filled with endless despair and resentment. The moment he's hurled out the villa gate by the bodyguards, Ethan hits the ground, bones feel shattered. Flecks of icy snow cling to his face. The bone-chilling cold seeped into his bones. But it was nothing compared to his frozen heart. He struggled up from the ground, staring at those tightly shut doors. The symbol of wealth and prestige. His fists clenched like iron vices. His nails drew blood, but he felt nothing. But what good was anger now? He was nothing but a stray dog, beaten and broken. He didn't even have the right to stand in front of Yvonne Su. The Icelandic wind held fiercer and fiercer. It whipped snow into his face, so sharp it stung his eyes shut. All he had on was that threadbare, faded old coat. Completely useless against the Icelandic freeze. Soon, his hands and feet were numb, stiff as boards. He had no money left for a hotel. He huddled in an airport corner, clinging to weak heater vents. He watched the crowd streaming past. Everyone dressed sharp, everyone with a clear destination. While he, on the other hand, had become a homeless, hopeless failure with no future in sight. He endured 2 miserable days just to catch a flight back home. The cheapest seat in economy class, of course. Cramped, surrounded by chaos, noise, and the stench of cheap air. He didn't eat or drink, eyes hollow, staring out the window. His mind was a war zone. He had no idea what fresh hell was waiting for him back home. It was already dark by the time the plane touched down. No one was there for him. His usual drivers and bodyguards had vanished. He trudged to the bus stop for the last bus to the hospital. The only shred of hope left was that old Master Gu would wake up and give him one last chance. But rushing into the hospital, the sight froze his blood. Old Master Gu was already awake, sitting up in his bed. His face was deathly pale, but his eyes were still razor-sharp. The matriarch of the Gu family sat to the side, wiping away tears. Seeing Ethan Gu, old Master Gu's gaze turned ice-cold. No trace of warmth at all. Dad, Ethan's voice broke as he stepped closer. Don't call me Dad. I don't have a son like you. Old Master Gu cut him off with a voice like a blade, filled with nothing but disgust and crushing disappointment. How did our family spawn such a disgrace like you? You destroyed the company. You torched our legacy. And you turned the Gu family name into a worldwide laughingstock. I must have been blind to ever entrust the family to you. Ethan Gu hung his head lower, not daring to defend himself. You've let us down beyond words, the matriarch sobbed. It was a minor debt. I messed up, I know. I'll go beg Yvonne in Iceland. You have the nerve to face her? Old Mr. Gu roared in fury. You're the one who wronged her. She's living her best life now. You have no right to ask her. He was speechless. Just leave. Old Mr. Gu closed his eyes, his tone weary yet firm. From this day forward, you are no longer a part of the Gu family. Nothing the Gu family owns has anything to do with you anymore. You racked up the debt, so figure out how to pay it off yourself. Your mother and I, we have no son like you. Dad. You can't do this to me. He stared in utter disbelief. I'm your son. How can you just abandon me? Take care of you? We raised you, for what? His eyes showed only disappointment. Your mother and I don't have the strength to manage you any longer. And we don't want to anymore. Just leave. Don't come to visit us again. We don't want to see your face. Mrs. Gu nodded too, crying. Ethan. Just go. Think long and hard about what you've done. Be a decent person from now on. They were tired, not reluctant at all. He knew, without a doubt, that the Gu family had truly cast him out. He shuffled out, hollow and broken. The pale light made him look desolate. He walked like a zombie, wandering aimlessly. He didn't know where to go. He didn't know what his next move was. As he stepped out of the hospital, a light rain began to fall. The cold raindrops pelted him, soaking him to the bone. He had no umbrella, so he just let the rain wash over him. As if it could somehow cleanse him of all his sins and regret. He wandered the streets without purpose, watching the neon signs of the roadside flicker, watching the cars pass by in a constant stream. A profound, endless despair flooded his heart. He was once the celebrated business tycoon, the center of attention. A mansion, a sports car, countless friends. Now, he was left with nothing, abandoned and isolated. He didn't even have a place to shelter from the rain. Just then, his phone rang. It was an unknown number. He hesitated for a moment, then answered. Hello? Is this Ethan Gu? A cold voice answered. Yeah, who is this? Ethan Gu's voice trembled slightly. This is the debt collection agency. When do you plan on repaying the 30 million loan you owe us? When will you pay back the 30 million loan? The man's voice was laced with menace. We've given you more than enough time. If you don't pay up soon, we will not be so polite. Ethan's heart sank. He pleaded, just a little more time. We've given you too much time already, the man roared. If we don't see the money by noon tomorrow, we're taking one of your legs. You've been warned. With that, the man hung up the phone, leaving Ethan Gu shaking, staring at the deadline. He knew the debt collectors meant every word. They would absolutely follow through on their threat. He was flat broke, with absolutely no way to pay them back. He was completely at their mercy. Trapped, he remembered Olivia Lynn. She caused this mess. But she was also carrying his child. Maybe, for the sake of the baby, she would help him out. He immediately called Olivia Lynn, but only got a disconnected number message. He tried her WeChat again, but no one answered. Panicked, he grabbed a cab to Olivia's last address. The door was wide open. The place was empty. A neighbor saw him inside. Are you here for Olivia Lynn? She moved out yesterday. I heard she sold off everything of value in there and took off with the last of the Gu family's savings. No one knows where she went. Ethan's mind went blank. She was utterly heartless. In his darkest hour, not only did she refuse to help him, she disappeared with his last shred of hope. He collapsed to the floor, staring at the empty apartment, his heart overflowing with infinite resentment and despair. He hated Olivia Lynn's cruelty, hated his own stupidity, and hated Yvonne Sue's coldness even more. But he forgot that all of this was a mess of his own making. Just then, the debt collectors found him and dragged him into a dark alley for a brutal beating. Beaten black and blue, he still couldn't pay. A thug with a scowl grabbed him by the hair and snarled, I have no money. Ethan trembled, his voice broken. No money? Then we'll just break one of your legs. With a roar, the man swung the club down at his leg. Ah! Ethan Gu let out a blood-curdling scream. Searing pain shot through him. He knew his leg was broken. The thug smiled at his agony. Consider this a lesson. If you can't pay up next time, we'll break your other leg. With that, they turned and walked out of the alley. Ethan lay alone on the freezing ground, writhing in agony. The rain poured down harder, washing away the bloodstains on his body, and washing away the last shreds of his dignity. Lying on the ground, he stared up at the gray, overcast sky. Tears streamed down his face, mingling with the rain. He thought of Yvonne Sue. He remembered their days together. He remembered how good Yvonne had been to him. And he remembered how he had betrayed her. If only he hadn't betrayed Yvonne. If only he had cherished her kindness back then. Would he not be in this pathetic state right now? But now, it was too late for regrets. His company went bankrupt. His family assets were seized. His family cast him out. Olivia Lynn ran off with his very last savings. Loan sharks broke his leg. He'd become a complete and utter loser. When news of Ethan Gu's miserable fate reached my ears, I was accepting the Emerging Designer of the Year award in Iceland. Under the spotlight, the champagne tower refracted dazzlingly. Thunderous applause erupted from the audience below. Colleagues worldwide cast looks of approval my way. Holding the heavy trophy, I spoke into the microphone. My voice was clear and firm. Thank you all for this recognition. This honor belongs to everyone who fought for their dreams. From below the stage, Eric smiled at me, his gaze full of warmth. He's the CEO of that top-tier design firm in Iceland. And my partner now. From our initial business collaboration to our mutual admiration. And now, building a life together. He has witnessed every step of my growth in Iceland. His gentleness and respect have healed all the wounds of my past. After the award ceremony ended, Eric walked up and handed me a bouquet of Icelandic poppies. Petals still held morning dew. Only the best, Yvonne. I savored the bouquet's delicate scent. Standing on tiptoe, I kissed him on the cheek. And thank you. Eric, we walked out of the venue side by side. The sky blazed with auroras again. Purple and pink ribbons of light intertwined. Just like a scene ripped straight from a fairy tale. He whispered, I bought land near Blue Lagoon. I want to build a little castle, just for us. We can live there, watch the lights, talk about design. And never be bothered by irrelevant people or drama ever again. Warmth and safety filled my heart. This is the life I always wanted, a career I'm passionate about. Someone I love, and a life full of poetry and adventure. No more betrayal. No more pain. Back at the villa, Aurora waited. Grinning, she said, Yvonne, you're a badass. I just watched the live stream of the awards ceremony. You were absolutely glowing up on that stage. I laughed, walking over to sit beside her. Why are you still awake? I had to stay up to share the good news, didn't I? Aurora handed me her phone. Look, the domestic media is all over your award. Everyone who used to mock you is now calling you a national treasure. Oh, and about Ethan Gu, I just got word. He's hit absolute rock bottom now. I took the phone. On the screen was a report from a domestic news outlet. A photo of Ethan Gu accompanied it. In the photo, he leaned on a crutch, filthy. One leg was visibly crippled. His hair matted, face grimed, eyes hollow. He was nothing like the old Ethan Gu. Loan sharks broke his leg. No money for care. He can only drag his crippled leg and beg on the streets. His grandparents cut ties and moved back to the countryside. They never want to see him again. Olivia Lynn quickly blew through the money she stole. She even tried to flee the country using a fake ID. But she was caught by the police at the border. Not only does she have to pay back the embezzled funds, she's also facing criminal charges for hiring those thugs. What's waiting for her now is a long, miserable stay in a prison cell. As for Story Group, after it went bankrupt and was auctioned off, it was acquired by an international investment firm. And the majority shareholder of that company is actually you. Yvonne, that move was absolutely savage. Aurora Chin added from the side. I smiled and didn't deny it. Even though Ethan Gu founded the Gu Group single-handedly, my hard work and financial support were baked into it too. I anonymously bought it through an overseas holding company. I wanted it to be reborn with a clean slate. To finally close that marriage chapter for good. Looking back now, Ethan Gu and Olivia Lynn are actually quite pathetic. Aurora Chin sighed and then shook her head. But, pitiful people always have something despicable about them. They brought this entirely on themselves. If Ethan Gu hadn't betrayed you, and if Olivia Lynn wasn't so disgustingly greedy and vicious, they wouldn't have ended up in this hellhole. I picked up my glass of red wine and swirled it gently. Yeah. You chose your path. Be ready for the consequences. They dug their own graves. It's that simple. It has nothing to do with me. I've completely let go of all that past resentment now. Ethan and Olivia's miserable fates brought me no satisfaction. Instead, they made me cherish my present happiness more. Revenge isn't the end goal. Living on your own terms is the best goodbye to the past. The days that followed were full and utterly blissful. The Aurora's Whisper project was a massive success. It caused a major sensation in the global design world. My studio has become an internationally recognized luxury brand. I've been flooded with collaboration offers from all over the world. Eric and I built a castle together right by the Blue Lagoon. The design is a fusion of Chinese elements and Icelandic style. Warm and romantic. In our free time, we watch the northern lights, go hiking, and explore the stunning landscapes of Iceland together. Eric comes with me to visit the local orphanages, bringing gifts and warmth to the children. I also join him in his charity work, using our design skills to contribute to environmental protection. My parents have also come to Iceland. Seeing me so happy, they finally let go of the worries in their hearts. I took them to every corner of Iceland. Looking at the bright smiles on their faces, I knew I hadn't just healed myself. I'd also given the people who love me peace of mind. The old man and Mrs. Gu would occasionally ask Aurora Chin about me. Aurora Chin told me they're drowning in regret now, constantly saying how good I was to them, admitting they never should have indulged Ethan Gu. I won't let them back in. The past is dead. I won't let irrelevant people disturb my happiness now. One afternoon, Eric and I were sitting on the castle terrace, gazing at the distant snow-capped mountains and the lake, sipping champagne and savoring the peace of the afternoon. Eric held my hand, his eyes gentle. Yvonne, you know what? The first time I saw you, I was captivated by your talent and resilience. You've been through hell, yet you're still so kind and passionate. That's incredibly rare. I smiled. The past was painful, but it made me grow up fast. It taught me that a woman must rely on herself. Only when you're strong can you have real happiness and freedom. Eric nodded. I'll always be by your side, supporting you in whatever you want to do. We'll grow the studio together, travel to more places, chase the northern lights together, and grow old together. In his arms, feeling his warm embrace and steady heartbeat, my heart was overflowing with happiness and contentment. The sun warmed our bodies. The distant lake shimmered, the snow mountains stood majestic. Everything was picture perfect, like a painting. My life has turned a brand new page. No betrayal. No pain. No scheming. Just a career I love, a partner I adore, and endless bliss. Ethan and Olivia's fall was just a minor subplot. Their failure proved one thing: what goes around comes around. Karma never loses an address. The pain you cause will eventually consume you. Your love and persistence will bring the greatest rewards. I looked up at the crystal clear blue sky, a relieved smile spreading across my lips. The shadows of the past have completely vanished. The days ahead are filled with sunshine and hope. My perfect ending, a career and love built by my own hands. Completely cut ties with the past and embraced my happiness.